Good afternoon, good day. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. We're back with HeroesCCL presented by Wisdom. My name is Bahamut, and today, as always, I'm joined by the amazing Grubby and Justing. And I gotta ask, how are you feeling getting into today's games, Grubby? You excited? You through the roof with just the level of energy you're ready to bring to this broadcast?
I'm grateful to be able to do this show with you guys. I just watched an inspirational video on finding things to be grateful for, and I realized that I am. So thanks for doing this show with me, guys. It's awesome.
Oh, we're always glad to have you, Grubby, and it's always great to work with you and do these, commentate and, banter about random stuff like Pacific Rim. You've gotten around to watching that, right, since last week?
If I hadn't, I definitely would have watched it now. I could see how offended chat was that I didn't understand every single reference from the show, but I did see it before, in fact, yes.
Okay, all right. At least that's covered. Justing, my friend, how are you doing? Are you ready for today's games as well?
Yeah, I'm excited. I think our games today are going to be really good. We've got a bunch of middle-of-the-pack teams that are all fighting for that top three, so all the matches today are going to be extremely important, so I'm really excited.
Yeah, we can get into those matches in a little bit because the first thing we, of course, have to do is we have to get into that prize pool. There's a lot of nice things for us to break down over here, as 60% of the prize pool will be going to the players. You can see that first place will be taking 35% of said 60%. Over on the right-hand side, as always, to be transparent with you at home, Wisdom will be taking 40% to be able to run the production, run the league, create graphics, and just have an awesome broadcast every weekend. You can use !prize pool in chat to get yourself over to the Match Arena to donate if you'd like to do so. We really do appreciate all the support from the community, as well as just how far we've pushed in our prize pool. Really, if we can hit that 10K mark by the end of this weekend, that would be really, really amazing, and we can definitely try and, maybe we can entice Springy with a potential treat if we maybe can hit 10K. So we'll see if that's all possible, but thank you everyone at home for all of your big support. We've hit $9,059 because of all of your love for HeroesCCL. We really, really do appreciate that. It's always fun to see that prize will go up and up every single weekend, and I'm sure the players do appreciate it quite a bit. Speaking of the players, there is a lot of shuffling, as Justin has mentioned. We're getting into our standings, and Justin, can you break down kind of what's happening today, or what could potentially happen today to these standings?
Yeah, so the middle of the pack is really tight together here, and we've got WildHeart, Diamond Hands, which both of these teams are in the middle, and they're trying to bust out of here. They want to get, WildHeart's technically in third, but it's a tie with Oxygen, who's also playing today. So WildHeart and Oxygen, only one of them is going to be able to remain in that top three spot. So there's a lot of these matches are all extremely important. Pretty much we have Diamond Hands, Granite, and Oxygen and WildHeart. And so all these teams, it's super important for them. 30K and Simplicity played yesterday, and so we already know who our first place team is right now. It's 30K, but the third place, fourth, fifth, sixth is all kind of up in the air, and it will all probably change by the end of today.
Well, you were mentioning what matches we're going to see, and Grubby, could you break down for everyone at home what matches we are going to have on today's broadcast, Sunday, December 12th?
We are going to be starting today with Diamond Hands against WildHeart Esports, who probably still has a backdoor chance to become number one of the league standings. WildHeart, that is. Diamond Hands themselves, they are at as you just saw, they are at that score of 2-3. It's going to be a little bit harder for them, but still so much reason to try because every single rank difference matters. It should be really good. They're super close in score. Then Granite Gaming against Oxygen, the 1-4 versus the 3-2 team, with Oxygen probably being the favorite, where Granite Gaming might come swinging out of an unexpected quarter and take Oxygen by surprise.
There could be some surprises today with that second matchup, but let's dive further into our first best of 5 of the day, Grubby, and I want to continue to get your thoughts on the Diamond Hands roster.
We got Caesar Salad, Godfield, Kelsier, Nintori, and Valamar, with June as the sub and the backup, who will sometimes bust out some Abathur, Ana, or Vikings, kind of a weird assortment of heroes to main, but hey, not gonna judge. Caesar Salad has been really stepping up to be a great tank for the team, and Godfield Kelsier have been a deadly duo from the backline.
We actually had this past week a nice Kyle Ferguson video with Caesar Salad talking about his Anubarak play, so if you are looking to understand Anubarak on a deeper level, you can definitely go over to the HeroesHearth YouTube and check out Caesar Salad's kind of interview with Kyle Ferguson. But not talking about those Kyle videos right now, Justin. Let's talk about this WildHeart roster, because I believe you actually have some cool information about this roster for today's matchup as well.
Yep, so we've got Mason Blaze playing the range, Slug Hunters the off lane, Tremors playing tank, Weary is the support, and Zergling is the flex. Lupus is on the bench here, but he will actually be playing today as tank for Tremor. Tremor will not be playing today. It's not a performance thing or anything. Tremor has some IRL commitments, so we're going to see Lupus tank playing today on main tank, so we'll see how that affects them in their matchup today against Diamond Hands.
Excited to see Lupus break out. Someone from the community that I've actually casted and commentated in previous, grassroots leagues like Nexus Gaming Series. So excited to see what his potential can be with WildHeart. How have they been training up with him? Has this been something they've known getting into this weekend, a couple weeks ago, or was this kind of brought all of a sudden? Because that definitely can affect the synergy of WildHeart, Grubby. I think, jumping into having like a duo partner for an RTS is probably the same thing. Like having a nice preparation is good, but just being thrown together, that kind of creates a lot of confusion, excuse me.
Yeah, it can be confusing. What's interesting is I've noticed there's a lot of chance that different gamers who have never played together could magically be on the same wavelength, because you think of the game the same way.
Mm-hmm.
When you practice together, you will either find out whether you mesh well or you don't mesh well. When you haven't practiced together before, it can still be a coin flip. Either it works out or it doesn't, and you won't know until the match actually happens. But it doesn't mean it's not going to go well just because you haven't prepped. If you happen to be on the same wavelength, see the game the same way, if Lupus has been watching their scrims, has been watching the matches, he's going to be able to fit that role a lot better. So the truth is, you simply wouldn't know, but it could go well.
It's exciting to see. And before we start to really break down this matchup even further, I want to give a big shout out to our sponsor, Next Level Gaming. Thank you, Next Level Gaming, for joining us for HeroesCCL Season 3. What is Next Level Gaming? It's a Miami-based esports center where you can go and watch HeroesCCL on Saturday and Sundays. They're hosting live watch parties every single weekend that this broadcast is happening. And if you're maybe waiting for a match to happen, or you're just kind of hanging out and you want to play some games, you can play Heroes of the Storm over at Next Level Gaming with 50% increased experience, and every hero is unlocked, and you're going to be able to play that Orphea you might be missing, or a Deathwing potentially as well, because he does cost quite a bit of gold. But there you go. Use !NXT in chat to find out more about Next Level Gaming. And thank you once again for joining us for HeroesCCL Season 3. Now that we've got all of this kind of broken down for you, let's really dive into this first best of 5 of the day. We can find out where we're going to go for this first matchup, and it's going to be the map choice of WildHeart Esports choosing to take us to Tomb of the Spider Queen. If you're wondering how we got to Tomb of the Spider Queen, Diamond Hands won the coin flip, opting for first pick priority, banning out Infernal Shrines. WildHeart Esports banned out Sky Temple, and for anyone who likes those stats at home, I continue to have them for you. Members of Diamond Hands are winless on Tomb of the Spider Queen. They're 0-3, and the members of WildHeart Esports are going to be sitting at 2-0. So it's going to be a comfort pick for WildHeart. We'll see what the side of Diamond Hands can do as we are getting ready for this first map of the day. And I got to get your thoughts here, Justin, about this matchup going into Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Yeah, so you talked about the win rates, and this is one of those maps where WildHeart should thrive. We don't know how they'll perform here with Lupus, but typically on a smaller map like this where they're able to just move around as a 5-man or a 4-man unit, that's where they really excel. Tomb of the Spider Queen's a map where you can really do that quite well, and that's evident in their win rate on the map. I'm expecting to see just a lot of priority onto kind of the general wave clear heroes at the start. We didn't see Stukov priority being completely stable yesterday. We saw in the first series they were kind of ignoring it quite a bit, and it felt like that was a bit of a mistake for the team that was doing that. If you ended up getting the team that ended up getting a Stukov later on in the draft, I think won pretty much every game. So I'm expecting to see Stukov priority. It's especially interesting to see that even without Tremor, they're still banning the Stitches. So Lupus striking fear into his opponents already.
And as much as we memed about it yesterday, Grubby, I saw you playing a ton of Heroes of the Storm after the broadcast yesterday. Did you by chance get your hands on Probius? Do you have any thoughts about him either?
Despite yesterday's overwhelming evidence that Probius is here to stay and is OP and all that, I didn't have the heart. I didn't have the courage to play him yet. So no, I cannot corroborate yesterday's amazing 300% win rate with my own results. How about you, Bahamut?
I mean, I've played him in the past. I'm not at this skill level of HeroesCCL players, so my
None
opinion.
of us are.
That is true. That is true. But well,
close.
actually,
Oh, yeah, that's true.
whoops.
Sorry, that's not true. Okay, Justin.
But I did see you, Grubby, struggle to not take Crash Lightning. I'm very proud of you for not taking the red talent on Hanamura last night. That was
thank you.
I saw that was a bit of a struggle for you. But well, Justin, what do you think about the draft so far? And let me get your thoughts. Like, do you think we could see Probius today as well?
If we do, I could see WildHeart playing it. I know that they like to experiment with a lot of stuff, and I mean, Probius did look pretty good yesterday. I'm not sure how much of the team's success was due to the Probius. It's hard to tell. Probius works in mysterious ways, so
Yeah.
really uncertain on that. The Johanna first pick seems to become, it seems to be becoming sort of the norm after the changes to the patch. Johanna just got buffs across the board. Rhaegar not being picked up by WildHeart, they opt to go for the Stukov instead. I think that's fine. Medivh very early in the draft. This is a bit peculiar. They do have the wave clear with Rhaegar and Johanna, so they don't really need to worry about that, which is typically a concern when you draft a Medivh comp, especially on Tomb. But at the same time, Rhaegar and Johanna don't necessarily kind of provide what you typically want with a Medivh. You normally want a tank that you can kind of enable, like a Diablo or a Garrosh, something aggressive to enable with the Medivh. Johanna doesn't really do that. The only thing that she really adds is she can Falling Sword to Unstoppable at the end of the portal, which could be useful against Stukov and Blaze as well, if they're trying to CC you out of the portal. But a little bit surprising draft from Diamond Hands. Their last two picks will probably be something a little bit weird. Maybe we'll even see a Phoenix, as is the Diamond Hands way.
They have had success in the past with that hero on Dragonshire, but no other map, and they have tried it before on a few others, and it wasn't successful. Don't know if it's a playstyle thing, if it's a map specific thing, but definitely that is a possibility. What do you think about all this, Grubby, as well?
Yeah, I'm thinking of Johanna as like this big damage dealer. Her damage went up a lot. It was easy for Johanna to get top 3 in damage among all 10 players. I found the same in my Storm League games yesterday. With Rhaegar, you add Lightning Shield. With Medivh, you add Arcane Explosion. Are they expecting Johanna is going to be like the hyper carrier here? Just so much damage around her. If so, they should take Ragnaros now with Blast Wave and Abathur with Spikes. And we've got Johanna who's going to kill them all.
I actually kind of like the idea of the hyper carry Johanna. That'd be interesting to see for sure. But this is a Garrosh Sylvana. Seems like some good counter tools going into this Medivh, Justin.
Yeah,
what?
Oh, okay. So it's offlane Johanna. I like that. That was something that I used to force Goku to play back on Octalysis. So it's a thing that Johanna actually, there's really no reason you can't play Johanna in the offlane, and she is a flex pick. We haven't seen this yet in the CCL, but this is something that WildHeart was practicing a little bit before, and it's something that it's good to have, the flex pick. So I like that. It's a good pivot because, like I was saying, Johanna isn't necessarily what you want with Medivh. You want something more aggressive like the Diablo, and they do end up picking that up. It's just that Johanna is actually their offlaner. So that was a cool trick by Diamond Hands in the draft. And then Mephisto is very good here. Medivh is sort of a pseudo double support composition. Even though he doesn't heal, it still kind of plays like a double support comp. So the team is going to be clumping up a lot. They're going to be grouping for portals. Mephisto punishes that extremely hard, and especially on Tomb. I do think it's a little bit weird to take the Garrosh when you're assuming that you're into a Johanna. That's typically not the best matchup for Garrosh. You still kind of have the pressure as Garrosh in the matchup, because whenever Joe's D is down, her Iron Skin, she has to play very safe, but most of the time, I think that she can kind of do whatever she wants against Garrosh, so I'm not sure if WildHeart is going to be able to do too much in the early game with their composition to be able to punish. A lot of it is going to come down to the Medivh player for Diamond Hands, but Diamond Hands does lack a little bit of wave clear with their pseudo double support comp, so I think WildHeart's comp is just a little bit better, but the game could go both ways for sure. I'm not entirely sure how strong Rhaegar and Johanna are on the current patch.
We'll have to see. Thank you for the analysis and the breakdown as always, Justin. And we have loaded on into map number 1 in our first best of 5 of the day. It's going to be Diamond Hands in the blue, Nintori on the Johanna, Caesar Salad to play this Diablo, Valimar on the Rhaegar, Kelsier on the Cassia, and Got Filth on the Medivh. Over in the red, we're looking at WildHeart Esports, Mason Blaze on the Sylvanas, Slug Hunter on the Blaze, Weary Day on the Stukov, Zergling on the Mephisto, and Lupus on the Garrosh. Grubby, I was really struggling to kind of make a prediction or make a call here, and I'm actually going to lean into Diamond Hands. It's I like the Rhaegar. I like the Medivh. It feels like there's a lot of really good tools here. I definitely think WildHeart can scale up. And in my opinion, the biggest X factor will be Lupus. We don't have a lot of information on him. I don't know how his tanking's going to be. Garrosh is strong into this composition, but how can he actually perform is the question that I posed to WildHeart. But what do you think about all this, Grubby?
Yo, I'm actually super impressed with the order of Diamond Hands' draft. Like, when you look at it, right? What does Diablo normally mean? When you pick him in the first 3, what happens on both sides? The Diablo side will think of Medivh, and the opposite side will think of Tychus. And they will think of banning Medivh, and they'll think of taking Garrosh. And that's kind of a freak accident how Garrosh got taken, as the porter comes in and Cassia should be able to escape. That was interesting by Godfilth. But it's so smart to open up with Johanna, Rhaegar, and Medivh, which shows nothing, and then say, Johanna is our offlane, Diablo was hidden, you now don't have your Tychus, you don't have your Garrosh, and that was kind of like a freak accident that it's Garrosh anyway. But in theory, it was so smart that none of the counters could be coming in because he was picked so late, and not only that, but you even weave in a synergy with Johanna Cassia, where Cassia does bonus damage to blinded targets, and now you've got that synergy, which normally gets picked together so that you can be sure that you get it. And if a Tychus did come in, then you have Johanna to blind him, which really helps to save Diablo. So I think it is masterfully crafted, this draft. Having said that, there are still strong counter tools. We do have Garrosh, who counters Diablo usually. Garrosh, who's good into Medivh. And we've got Mephisto into double support. So the tools are there on both sides, but I just really love how this came into being, which is why draft can be such an important and interesting part of the game itself.
When we have like the off season, or maybe when we have the upcoming holiday break, maybe I should try and sit down with Justin and do like a pick his brain about draft theory and stuff. Like, how do you approach a draft, like a draft 101 video sort of deal. Maybe that's something we can do. Because I agree, like there's so much intricacy when it comes to this draft and being able to adapt on the fly, because a lot of teams will come in and say, this is the direction we want to go. We want to go Diablo, Medivh, or something like that. And then they build further off of that based off of what the enemy team is going to be picking up. But sometimes if the enemy just starts throwing you curveball after curveball, it'll be difficult. But the curveball here is going to be that the Garrosh will be pushed around by a Diablo. Typically, we actually say it's the other way around. And that'll be first blood in favor for the side of Diamond Hands. The Caesar Salad getting slow, but he's able to back away.
Yeah, behind every foolish Diablo shadow charge is a Medivh there to save him and bail him out. That was risky, but he knew he had the Medivh to get him out there as well, which is why it's such a great pairing. So overall, first blood to Diamond Hands. We look at the gems, they've got enough to pay right now, which if they can defend the pay, it'll be really good for them. Now we look at the builds. Most builds pretty standard, but we do see that Johanna concession into being the solo laner, going with Eternal Retaliation, which gives CDR and mana return when it comes to killing minions. So we don't usually see this, but as the solo laner, we do. We also have a new level 1 from Diablo, not going with the Soul Shield, which gives a small burst protection, exactly what Medivh does as well, instead going for that healing. Again, a concession, or I shouldn't call it a concession, an adaptation, because we've got the Medivh and the double support. He's gonna have enough burst protection already.
And Caesar Salad has been pretty accurate with these wall bangs, or the shadow charge collisions, and that is going to be the best part about Feast on Fear. Stunning an enemy hero with shadow charge or overpower heals Diablo for 10% of his maximum health over 3 seconds. So more sustainability, as he did go into the Fire Stomp build as well. And we can pick Justin's brain about that at the end of the broadcast, or at the end of the match, because I was thinking we were going to have an engagement here, but it's mostly Caesar Salad just anchoring in the bush, waiting for that angle to pop up.
We also have still Rhaegar's second playday in pro play of CCL here after the buffs, and we've only seen one build so far. It's full totemic might. This time it's going to be Feral Heart. He's actually going to get superior than mount speed for a second after becoming a wolf. then falling to mount speed, all of which is more than he usually has, and he gains 20 armor when he enters or exits Ghost Wolf for 2 seconds. So this allows him to be a bit more aggressive. He can go in for a bite when he knows Garrus's Wrecking Ball. His E is not available, otherwise he will still die, 20 armor notwithstanding. But he can go for a bite more often, basically. Better mobility, and maybe able to threaten Mephisto a little bit more as well, who will have to be very careful indeed. Zergling may feel like he has a safe vantage point to teleport forth from, but Portal pretty much messes with that evaluation of safety, and Diamond Hands is going to be looking at him as the main target. If they can take down Mephisto, they pretty much can't be taken down for the most part.
It's a strong play from Diamond Hands with this Webweaver phase pressing into each lane. I'm also skimming through a lot of the talents. Medivh, 38 stacks on his baseline Arcane Rift. Only needs to hit 2 more to finish those out as Mephisto is able to back away out of this top lane, throwing a Skull Missile from time to time as well. Nice totem from Rhaegar just to scout the enemy in the rotation as well as slow them down. The 1 kill that we see for the side of Diamond Hands yields a slight experience advantage, but look at this big rotation to bottom lane. Blaze is very far forward. This is a great example of a gank right here. Blaze baited Biden and Tori to kind of say, oh, I'm fine, and no one seeing the rotation, but I can't believe it. No! Well, Valimar goes in and gets that big ol' bite on the butt and finds the first kill in this engagement. Second kill will be by the Joanna, though there is going to be a sneak on the turn-in, so it's all for naught, as WildHeart does have some lane pressure in their favor, even though they lost 2.
Yeah, what Valimar did there against Stukov, running after him, is enabled by his level 1 talent. And it reminded me a lot, actually, of Logan as a puppy, my dog.
Aww.
He used to nip at my heels, actually try to bite my calves.
Why?
When we went home. Like, he was a puppy, right? He needed to learn. He's like, I don't like this thing that's happening now. The walk is ending, so I am going to bite you. I don't know if you ever went through that with Bandit. It was soft bites, but he was voicing his displeasure. As was Valimar, it took off getting away.
The only thing Bandit's ever done is he's tried to like herd people into rooms a little bit when he was young. Like he'd try and kind of like push people into like all into one room. He's got a little bit of herding dog in him. He's very mudded up, but yeah, that's the one thing I've noticed in the past, but other than that, he's pretty chill. He's a good boy.
Family needs to be together. A bit of Vin Diesel. I
think that is part of his
falling sword. Huge apocalypse! Oh my god, the wombo combo by Diamond Hands! They're kind of sneaking up on us there with a massive amount of damage. They are taking a lot of damage back. Zergling is doing so much. Don't teleport back, Zergling! No, he did. Of course, he's got no choice in the matter. Diamond Hands absolutely destroying there. There was a huge ley line into Apocalypse, into Falling Sword. What a pleasing combo. We have to watch that again, production. Please, can we?
Only if you're good, Grubby, and you brush your teeth and you put away your toys. But it was such a good engagement from Diamond Hands, and it seemed like WildHeart was kind of clawing their way back in that fight. But it was all for naught. It was a great Ancestor healing from Valimar as well that kept Diablo in that fight, that allowed the engagement to continue. But once we get that highlight, we'll be able to throw that up on the screen for you all. While all of that's happening, what's happening on the map is we're getting a nice Webweaver phase for the side of Diamond Hands. Everyone respawning on the side of WildHeart. But while everything's descending, let's check out that replay, Grubby.
All right, let's check it out. Here we have that fight coming in. Once again, it was a ley line into an Apocalypse. It was leyline on 2. Just such a big deletion. Lupus does get a bit of value there, taking down Cassia on the perimeter, and will be the only one getting away with just 2 gems, though. Oh, huge! In the meantime, huge spear there on Zergling by Valkyrie, by the Valkyrie herself, yoinking in Mephisto. He's actually in the spot where he cannot escape. Or can he? Apocalypse will just about nip him in the legs as well. Wow, Diamond Hands has got some great synergy and great play here.
Loving the way that Diamond Hands has approached this draft, this play. An aggressive rotation. Medivh drops down from bird form, eats the jet propulsion that was trying to close the distance towards this front gate, but the bunker does come down. The portal will not be enough. The lurking arm to slow this Diablo. Slug Hunter making a very aggressive jet propulsion forward, while the top lane fort does go down to Nintori on the Joanna. The rest of Diamond Hands will find the fort and bottom lane. The map is quickly opening up to the side of Diamond Hands, really skyrocketing in value.
What a cool draft. What
Seriously.
great execution. You know, we're really getting spoiled here. Sometimes you can have a cool draft like this, and the players just don't have the execution to back it up. And it's such a shame because you've just wasted like a genius draft, and then you're not making use of it. But here we also have the execution. We've got every part working together against a great team, albeit with a sub-tank, but it's fantastic. It's fantastic. I don't know that with Tremor it could have gone any differently the way that they are playing this. Very safe falling sword.
Yeah, that was such a good read, but Caesar Salad's going to get thrown around. No falling sword available for 40-some seconds. The Durance of Fate will not connect. There is a couple of these decimate spins from Lupus trying to slow Caesar Salad, but he's a little too tanky. He's a little too sustained. And keep in mind, Ancestral Healing is off cooldown. That panic button, Heroic, is available if necessary. Not needed. The wells have been tapped, and it seems like Diamond Hands want to re-engage.
All right, let's, I mean, Diamond Hands has equal talents, right? Like, they've got most of their heroics available, though not all. And I want to say that the Durance for Mephisto is quite an important heroic here, all things considered. Even though it can, of course, get cleansed by Rhaegar, which makes Rhaegar the main target for such a combo. It won't be easy for Zergling, actually, to hit it.
For anyone that doesn't know, the new baseline Purge for Rhaegar is not self-targetable. So that is...
yeah, most cleanse aren't, right? So, but it's good to note.
Yeah,
like,
just,
that's why he's the main target. Yeah, for sure.
Just in case anyone's just like, oh, you can just self-cleanse. No. He can't do that. There's a Leyline Seal onto 2. Valkyrie comes out. No Apocalypse because the Wailing Arrow from Sylvanas. But here comes the Shadow Charge onto Zergling, who does get thrown away. The bunker down from Blaze. Medivh gets thrown into the Durance of Hate and is going to get shut down right there. Now Nintori has to Falling Sword away. Does utilize it onto a few friendly heroes. Some allies to back away as well. Here's an Apocalypse re-engage. Very aggressive. Down a member. The Ancestor Healing onto 1. And that will be the Stukov to fall. The chase is on as we still have Rhaegar in this engagement. Medivh was the one who fell. Nintori slowing as much as he can. And it's just kill after kill after kill. Caesar Salad, do you have an overpower? Not yet. Triple kill will be found on the side of Diamond Hands. Losing their Medivh, but here comes a boss call. This is Boss plus Webweaver available to Diamond Hands as they only need 12 gems to be turned in, and Nintori has got the 12.
That was pretty greedy positioning by by Godfilth there. Medivh on the flank, walking melee into Garrosh. He punished him. There was no force of will left. In came the Durance from Zergling on the Mephisto, and they killed the Medivh. But what a turn there. Yeah. Caesar Salad really seeing the opportunities, knowing when the time is right to 4v5. And the time was right indeed. He got the combo on Garrosh. Stukov was self-rooting himself. So that was a double Apocalypse, and in came Cassia, gratefully cleaning up with that level 1 charge strike ability, empowered by the double blinds of Johanna and Cassia. Talent lead, of course, still for Diamond Hands. They've now got the turn-in and the boss, with 2 of the waves pushed up to very near the keep. And Slug Hunter just kind of trying to delay the bottom one. But, you know, with the minion wave on top of the bottom Webweaver, it ain't gonna do much. It's pretty much top and mid. And the goal here for Diamond Hands would be if they can get a kill or 2, they try to finish. Otherwise, they're looking for 1.5 keeps, I would say. Maybe even just 1 keep. I'm not sure how ambitious they can get.
Do you want to listen in and see how ambitious they'll get?
Let's see.
Here we go.
They're terrified of the Leyline.
I still look for a Revoke. Maybe on Stukov here.
Yeah.
Good falling sword, dude.
Nice try. Leyline.
Yeah.
Oh falling sword on the
Stop.
Go on, Blade, baby.
I'm silenced, I'm silenced.
You're fine, I have shield. Oh, fuck, I have shield.
Run up.
Yeah.
Let's go. I have shield again.
We can kill.
Sorry, root.
Careful, we're kind of
We
getting
can
out.
Get out.
Preset, yeah.
We got keep.
Oh, run away.
What's dead?
I mean, if we can get 20, the game's kind of over.
Yeah, we should go bot to hearts. Bot to hearts.
Yeah.
I can get the mid-soak.
I have clans up now.
Dude, I might need Rockstopper for these fights. I don't know.
Yeah, you should go Rockstopper, I think. The other one's stuck
Yeah,
out.
I think so.
I'm watching top A. Maybe Medivh hovers though. Not much reason to be bought.
Yeah, sure, I'll be with you.
I'm gonna go hit Bruiser.
Some very fun and clear communication coming out. I like the ancestral, and then as we were getting out, it's just the consideration of, you know, like, oh, what should I be taking? But Grubby, we had a bit of a fight and a little bit of a replay. If you want to, can break that down for us.
So Cassia was saying she needs Rockstopper. Here we have that fight from underneath the boss there, the double, Medivh there, he kind of got thrown in, right? So there you have Diamond Hands actually disengaging with Falling Sword. What is the exact moment they know they can turn around? They're still pulling back. WildHeart is still aggressive, but they're low. And there suddenly Caesar Salad sees a combo there. Kelsier gets an Ancestral Healing just to enable him, to let him know you can keep moving forward. And he does. You actually have Mason Blaze doing a lot of damage back. You see that? How much damage he's putting back on the backline? It's impressive. If conditions were a little bit better, I do believe he could have super threatened Diamond Hands. But that fight was a great turn from Diamond Hands. Maybe a bit aggressive from WildHeart, but you gotta take risks sometimes, right? To win it all, you have to risk it all. In the meantime, we have level 20. We do see that Rockstopper for Cassia, who said he needs that. Charging up to 60 armor immediately. Great into Garrosh, because if you get stunned, well, another great spear there onto Zergling. He's getting abused by the Valkyrie elves here. Garrosh, though, saving him once again with Into the Fray. We had that 1.5 keep value from the boss and objective before. They're looking to make that half a full keep here. Can they make the spare into a strike? Diamond Hands is doing the damage, throwing the spears. Good damage from Zergling into Kelsier, though, Bahamut.
Kelsier is getting poked a little bit by Zergling, but it's Zergling who's going to be losing it. Okay, hold on. Medivh cheats. 4 people in the Leyline Seal. The Apocalypse will come out. Very well timed. Falling Sword will be utilized by the Johanna. There's a Wailing Arrow from Sylvanas as well. The portal forward set up. Caesar Salad looking to step onto Lupus, but Caesar Salad is going to get annihilated. Souls reset. Nintori pops the Steed Charge from level 7. And is going to back away as quickly as they possibly can. Mephisto jumping forward with the Shade of Mephisto. Not able to get any sort of kill, but I'm confused as... I don't know. Yeah, confused. I'm not sure why Diablo went in with that portal. Maybe
because he's a noob!
Oh, dang, Grubby.
No, he must have just thought that Wrecking Ball wasn't available yet or something. Oh my god, that was tight. Such a cool ley line into a Hellgate from the Blink. Zergling gets Falling Sworded. Wow, he survives. Nice save by Weary Day. There's an arm to try and offer a bit of support to the front line of Lupus there.
Some support is being offered, but it's not enough for Sylvanas at least. I was giggling because it kind of seemed like Medivh was just standing next to Sylvanas, got one of the Arcane Rifts and autos, and was like, cool. My Temporal Flux just gave me like 30 seconds of cooldown reduction, and I'm gonna go ahead and just pop this leyline right on to the Sylvanas. Yeah. Cool tech as well from Caesar Salad. He didn't have Apocalypse, still doesn't, 10 seconds away, but he has Hellgate from level 20, so single target deletion with that was really, really cool. As we have another portal forward from this Diablo, that this time a lot better as he gets the Shadow Charge onto Garrosh. Garrosh trying to get the bunker, does do so. Apocalypse will be utilized, and Sister Healing comes out, and the Farseer's Blessing will come in and save Diablo.
Kelsier gets auto after auto on Blaze and actually manages to take him down with that level 16 martial law. He's able to kill the Blaze, a few spears, a few auto attacks, and he takes him down with the Fend. Oh, another great angle there on that heroic. The Valkyrie managing to... Garrosh getting bullied here by the Leyline Seal. Let's see how long he can survive here. Not long at all. Diamond Hands with an absolutely amazing avalanche of a victory, just cascading towards victory. What a game! We haven't seen such a one-sided game between two evenly scored teams in quite a while. Very, very impressive. Great execution, great draft, 10 out of 10. Would watch again.
I can't wait to watch this back tonight after the broadcast. And I usually watch back all the broadcasts and do some stats and stuff. That is a match that I will be paying attention to closely, because there were so many amazing moments from the side of Diamond Hands. It's hard.
Look at the hero damage from Johanna, Bahamut. She's top 4 again in hero damage in the game.
It's absolute insanity. I have a lot of thoughts on this, but I want to get Justin's thoughts, because I'm sure you have so much to break down after this monumental first match of the day.
Yeah, so that was pretty much just domination by Diamond Hands from start to finish. It felt like they were controlling their rotations early. It didn't feel like WildHeart really had any good response for the Medivh, especially not in the early game. And there was kind of an interesting dynamic in that game where Diamond Hands comp doesn't actually siege very well at all, like on their own. They can't really siege with what they have, but they can. They kind of needed to get ahead in the early game like they did, because they need to. The way for them to siege is they have to physically dive the fort or dive the keep in order to siege. You could tell when they were trying to push with the boss and turn in top, it's really hard to push into a Mephisto even with their comp, and they tried to dive past and they weren't able to get it that time, which allowed WildHeart to hold on for a little bit longer. But that's kind of the dynamic of, with their composition, it doesn't siege on its own at all, which was why this game kind of took a little bit longer than it almost seemed like it should have, considering how hard Diamond Hands were winning the fights. Zergling on the Mephisto was getting pretty bullied, and you could tell that Diamond Hands was just constantly searching for him with pretty much all of their characters. We heard when we listened to Diamond Hands comms that Kelsier was looking for Valkyries, which when you have a ranged player that is proactively looking for engages like that, it's really scary, because in these types of team fights, most of the time you're not really paying attention as a ranged, you're not really paying attention to the enemy range for that type of threat. The Valkyries from Kelsier were really good, and you could tell that Zergling on the Mephisto was constantly questioning his positioning. And I'd say Lupus overall actually performed fairly well. They didn't really get the chance to play level 20 fight for the side of WildHeart. No real complaints with Lupus's play. I didn't feel like there was a ton that he could have really done. He did set up that pick bottom on the Diablo, which was what kept WildHeart in the game. But really good pick by Gotfilth on the Sylvanas mid to catch Mason Blaze, just isolated in the mid lane with the ley line. That kind of started the end for WildHeart. If WildHeart's able to get to level 20 and they're able to get the Garrosh Decimate online, they can have a chance in fights. But as soon as they fall behind just a little bit against Medivh, they're just going to be getting permanently dove, and there's just too much pressure. Anytime Zergling ease in, immediately you'll get a Medivh portal onto the backline, onto where he's going to return to with his Shade. So just really good execution by Diamond Hands. I do like what they did in the draft, how they did the switcheroo, where Joe is actually their offlaner, and that definitely caught WildHeart off guard for sure. So props to Diamond Hands. Also, their Medivh Diablo looked a lot better than the one we saw yesterday. The Leyline APOC combo was really good.
Well, yesterday we had Leyline and Lightning Breath, so we didn't even have the availability of that Apocalypse. I really do think that, and I agree with you, Justin, the Caesar Salad factor on this Diablo was so good in this last game, and it's actually the Johanna solo lane. Like I really wasn't too convinced. I thought it was just going to be like super slow clear, and she's going to kind of slowly just lose the lane, but not the case whatsoever. And she controlled that lane well, played in the team fights extremely strong. But that was map number 1. We're getting it ready for map number 2, and we can let you all know where we're going to be heading off to. It is going to be Alterac Pass. We're going to have Stormpike Vandar versus Drekthar on this World of Warcraft based map, and it's going to be the map choice of Diamond Hands, as the losing team of WildHeart Esports has opted in for first pick priority. Any thoughts getting into this, Grubby?
I was just thinking why Drekthar doesn't have a last name.
Is it
Drekthar.
It's like Cho'Gall's name. First name Cho, last name Gall.
No. Orgrim Doomhammer is how Orcish last names sound like. Okay, cool.
I was gonna ask,
he just wants to be known by his, he just wants to be known by his first name. That's cool. We've got Anyway, that's what I was thinking. If you ever wanted to know what was going on in my mind while you're doing perfect presentations and passovers to me, and we segue into interesting facts, I'm just like, where's his last name? But I'll try to give it to myself next time.
No, please, Grubby. I love these moments. I like the little insight into Grubby's brain from time to time. Trust me, it's just hot drinks constantly playing in the back of my mind. So it's always just pure chaos. But what do you think about the Alterac Pass matchup between Diamond Hands and WildHeart?
Super interesting to see the Anub'arak ban coming out now. He's been going up in priority a lot. Diamond Hands picked the 2 new OP heroes, Johanna, Rhaegar, and now that they're not first pick, they're actually going to be banning Rhaegar themselves. I feel like a Stukov ban is in order here, but they're going to remove Lunara, which may actually be a little bit of a trick, where they say you're allowed to have Stukov, but without Lunara's cleanse. And we're going to go for a one-shot composition. It is possible with Lunara that it's all about that cleanse, not about the DPS alone.
She was nerfed a little bit in our patch that we had this past week, and as a reminder for anyone at home, we are on the live patch. It's not like there's a tournament server or anything like that. This is live, so the games that you're playing at home are the games that these, or the patch that you're playing at home is what these players are on as well. And a little fun stat, actually, for the Anub'arak. I was doing some of these stats earlier. Diamond Hands has played Anub'arak 9 times with like a 66% win rate. So he's been pretty strong for Diamond Hands in the past, and Justin has made a lot of notes. Looking back towards like Simplicity's playstyle with Masquerade on a new brack on Alterac Pass as well.
Yeah, it's a menace on this map. It feels like you almost can't let it through. The objective on this map is a lot stronger than the bosses are, so being able to have someone who can constantly be pressuring that is just really, it just gives you such an advantage at pretty much all stages in the game. And Tracer, we did see banned out quite a bit, and it was critical to I'm blanking. The Tomb game we saw yesterday, the last game of the series, the Tracer Tyrael. It was
30k versus
30k.
Chili Mountain.
Yeah, 30k Dino on Tracer. They made a good show of it, and we saw that. Yeah, we can see that the Tyrael is actually banned away by Diamond Hands, so they're very aware of this combo of Tyrael Tracer, because Tracer has been getting second banned quite a lot, and we haven't gotten to see a ton of it. But when we do see it, it's typically paired with that Tyrael, so they have the dive buddy and the shields. So that being denied away might be putting a bit of a damper on what WildHeart is looking to do. They definitely were probably looking for that. So good draft by Diamond Hands. Just again, it seems like Diamond Hands just has they have like their own plan when they come into the draft, it feels like, and so far in game one they were able to execute it quite well. I'm not entirely sure what WildHeart will look to pair with this Tracer. They could just go the safe route and pick something like a Muradin who can dive with her. But it is Lupus, and yeah, okay, so there's the Muradin. We see the Falstad, so they have a global now. That's good. The Haka is still available, so now we'll find out whether Johanna is actually the offlane here. I'm not expecting it to be on Alterac Pass. This is a map where it could be, but
Varian could be next, and then you have Johanna on the offlane, possibly.
You could. This is a map where you need a little bit more clear, I feel, though, but it is possible, and they do have the double range that can do camps well, so pretty much it's up in the air for Diamond Hands.
Oh,
or just pick Uther.
Holy Fire Uther maybe for the offlane, very possibly.
It is possible.
Actually,
you can go either D-shield, bomb, and throw Greymane at them, or you can D-storm for the off chance that you actually get your hands on a melee stun into Tracer, maybe thanks to mind control.
It's a hard one for me to call. I lean a little Diamond Hands, but what do you think about all this, Justin?
I would also lean a little bit towards Diamond Hands, mainly for the fact of Tracer, I think, is going to struggle here, especially if they do go with that D-storm. I think it's not super typical. We don't see it very often, but Uther with D-storm is the longest chain CC in the game. When you have Benediction for one target, you can Benediction stun D-storm, and I think it's a 4.25 second stun or something like that. Math on stream is hard, but it's the longest one in the game. I just remember from doing like tri-mode stuff. So if Tracer ever tries to exist, if they do go that D-storm, she can get, if she ever gets hit by a stun, she instantly dies, because that CC is just too long. They don't have a cleanse for WildHeart. They have Stukov, who can have Super Strain, but I don't think that's going to be quite enough. So I think a lot of pressure is going to be on the Falstad to get value, because in a straight 5v5, I'm expecting Diamond Hands to win.
Alrighty, well, thank you, Justin, for the breakdown as always, and we will dive on into Alterac Pass. We won't go through every single name because, well, we just saw these teams. We got Diamond Hands in the blue, WildHeart in the red, and I'm calling for a Diamond Hands win, but Grubby, I gotta get your thoughts as well, as I've let you kind of, like a delicious pot of pho, I've let you kind of stew for a bit here.
Have you tried it yet, pho?
No, I'm actually gonna get it for dinner tonight. That's what I decided. After broadcast, I'm gonna go get some soup.
Awesome. Hope you'll like it the first time. There's some excellent pho all over the United States. Some of those, I guess, people that used to, like, long time ago, came from Vietnamese, bringing some of that authentic experience. We love going for pho in the USA. It's decent here as well in the Netherlands, but it's much better in the US. We always love to go for some when we're stateside. But anyway, I have been stewing like a bone broth pho for sure, and I've been appreciating Diamond Hands' draft. That Lunara ban to remove the cleanse, baiting them to take the Stuk off, and then grabbing Uther. That just reeks of preparation. Reeks? No. Scented nicely.
Yeah, there you
reeks
go.
is a negative word. It's scented nicely of some wonderful preparation. And then you've got Lucio, who doesn't have a lot of wave clear, but like Tyrael, I like to call him anti-wave clear, because he actually delays people's rotation. He makes people slower at wave clear, just like Tyrael's shield. So everyone in the game has a lot or a little bit of wave clear, but only a few have anti-wave clear, and I consider Lucio and Tyrael to be two of them. and he's going to stop people's rotations, which can help a lot. Now, this Hogger camp is going to be from a defensive position by Diamond Hands. They're going to actually armor debuff the other Hoggers, and then they're getting the help from their own towers. So that makes this a very easy clear with just 1 against 3 players. And that's exactly the timing you want for the first Hogger camp. Look at that.
It's really
Took only
good.
half a tower in damage, needed only 1 hero into 3 to 4 for a bit, and then you're allowed to have multiple heroes in another lane, and now you get your Hoggers on the enemy towers where there's no armor debuffing enemy Hogger camp, and that could lead either to more damage if you're all there, or you could go somewhere else and do things somewhere else. And that's exactly what they're doing here. So I feel like Diamond Hands is showing such an excellent understanding of the map, and I don't feel like we see it enough, but rather than begrudging that, I'm just grateful that we get to see it here. They've got this lovely tag team, 2 top, 3 bot, and then the Hogger camp winning out in the center. Just such good map manipulation. I'm loving it. I'm a super fan of Diamond Hands today.
So this preparation through bottom lane is what I'm kind of noticing and liking here, and this is what I wanted to talk about. I was holding my breath for a second because I wasn't sure how this engagement was going to go, but it is going the way of a WildHeart kill, and that'll be first blood in favor for our WildHeart crew. And what I like about this bottom lane push, and there was a little bit of top lane priority as well, is that these are boss lanes, and this is one of the few maps in Heroes of Storm where you actually have 2 bosses available, Curse Hollow being one of those other maps. And so having that availability of off-lane pressure on top of the null camp that we've talked extensively about and being able to reduce armor of structures, heroes, etc., I love how Diamond Hands are kind of just playing the entire map. They're playing very good macro is what I wanted to discuss on this, because there's a lot of really good pre-siege into the top and bottom already, a little bit into mid, but some good priorities so far as we are going to see our first objective phase started by WildHeart. Greymane's back into the mix, and 7 talent tiers have just been achieved by both sides.
Yeah, we get that offlane build from Johanna again, the Divine Steed with the Eternal Retaliation, where the marks give her CDR and mana return while killing the minions. Wait, is it a one-shot when she hits a minion?
With the Eternal Return?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think you still have to use your subdue to get the clear on
Johanna's next basic attack against condemned targets removes the mark, lowers the cooldown, refunds the mana, and killing minions. It's a bit dubious phrasing, but it seems like she one-shots marked targets, kind of like Hanzo.
Maybe she does. I'll have to keep an eye on Nintori doing some wave clear. Oh, nope, Justing is saying that yes, she does.
Oh, okay, so that's,
thank God for
that's
Justing
pretty
listening
solid.
in.
That's actually really mana friendly, because if you don't take that talent, you can use double blind and all of your abilities, basically 4 abilities, to also kill wave, but that costs a lot more mana. Godfield here is getting attacked. He's got the 10 armor from the Worgen farm and periodically has armor from, of course, Uther as well. So he can play fairly aggressive. Nonetheless, he tries to dodge damage. Kelsey are unloading damage here on Mason Blade. Savannah's fairly good into Tracer. Nice heal there from Uther. Oh, great interrupt by Valamar against the Dwarf DOS that had Muradin, Lupus trying to go after Kelsier. Great interrupt there by Valamar, and then the silencing arm trying to finish someone off didn't work out. So we're still 0-1 in takedowns. We have Diamond Hands going a little bit faster for the null camp, even as Nintori pushes in a wave of 7 with no one there to soak it. So that's going to deal 4 damage in the top lane.
And you'll lose the experience as well on the side of WildHeart. You do have the experience globes that stay on the map for 4 seconds with 100% experience, and then for 31 seconds at 25% experience? 50%? 25%?
50. Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm misremembering on the amount that it falls to. Either way, it still is just going to be experience denial from this split pressure. And look, once again, Johanna will rotate up into the top lane, pressing another wave into that fort, and this is also bolstering that experience to the side of Diamond Hands. While they do sit killless, and there's no first objective phase yet, it's just this constant split pressure that Falstead now needs to respond to. And when 10 talent tiers achieved, will this be the go button for the side of Diamond Hands?
They're gonna go for now. We got the nice cleanse after the Stormbolt into Greymane. He's kind of being left to his own devices here. We've got D-Shield, so there we go. Now he's empowered. Valamar in a really awkward spot. He gets the high five to himself. He actually gets away. Godfield has no more D-Shield. It looks like this was actually really easy for WildHeart to hold off the aggression. It was a little bit disjointed. Yeah. Greymane took a lot of damage. Holding the D-Shield gave it. It didn't lead to a kill. Slug Hunter is on full rage. I think we've basically been singing the praise for Diamond Hands, but WildHeart fought back really well. They did use all of their heroics. Nice barrel roll away from Zergling.
Yeah.
He is low on mana though, so no more hammer ranks coming out. But that was a great resistance from WildHeart.
I think you nailed that perfectly, Grubby. We have been talking quite a bit about the gains, the positivity for Diamond Hands, but WildHeart, they are mounting a wonderful defense. There have been a few strong moments on Alterac Pass, but I also want to note that those strong moments have been mitigated by still the Diamond Hands success story, which is this Uther, really. Like, Uther has been so strong. Hand of Protections have been really good. Divine Shield in that last fight was great. There was actually a point where Kelsier was getting dove by Tracer, got hit with the Pulse Bomb, and we did have the healing connect onto the Sylvanas, which gave her the armor and mitigated the Pulse Bomb value pretty much. So a lot of really cool back and forth, but let's see. Can WildHeart continue their positive trajectory over the side of Diamond Hands on Alterac Pass?
Yeah, they kept just applying pressure to the objective. That's what WildHeart has been doing. This is like the third capture or so. Now getting the interrupt. Probably going to guarantee the capture of the objective here with how they're investing and sacrificing for it. Question is, will they be alive when the sun rises again? Slug Hunter with the double Hortipult. He's getting a lot of meat there, but it's not enough. He's going to try to leave. Can they get away? Godfilled going in. Hager taking damage. Is the spin good enough? Can Zergling barrel roll away? What's his cooldowns like? He does. Gets the healing pustule from Weary Day.
Wow.
And every single member of WildHeart gets out. Fantastic job.
That go for the throat felt like a frustration go for the throat, because I was looking at it and I was like, are you really going to use that ability? Like, it doesn't deal that much damage. 569 currently.
Maybe it was like a mobility go for the
That
throat.
is true, because you can close the distance again, so it's like having a second
Yeah.
Dark Flight per se. So that is actually true. There is that value as well.
Valamar's like, see ya, fools, high five in your face. But he's just kind of skirting around them. Stormbolt trying to get a Lucio that isn't slowed. Good luck with that. WildHeart gets a wall. They have been losing structures. You look at that top fort on the top right in the minimap.
Yep.
They have been losing more structural damage than Diamond Hands. So Diamond Hands feels totally fine with this. Nonetheless, WildHeart needed that, wanted that, right? Because they're against Sylvanas Greymane. So there's always going to be a lot of pressure, a lot of counter pressure. Diamond Hands is better at pressuring Son's objective. We have that now again. Again, half a fort down by Diamond Hands with the Greymane and the bottom lane.
Once again, great macro from the side of Diamond Hands. This Greymane recognizing that, okay, there's 4 enemies in top. Hager was showing in mid on the mini-map, so Greymane, can continue siege. And look at this. Once again, 4 members in top. Hager is assumed to be on the camp. Greymane's not really threatened by just a Hager dive, so Greymane's going to get a free fort out of this. A boss flubbed, a team fight wasted, and a fort gained to Diamond Hands. This is, we always try and talk, about both sides being positive, but the momentum for Diamond Hands is really, really good, and it's something that we should highlight, and it's being executed super well as a team.
It feels very magical here,
Yes.
just the change from one week to the next, where suddenly something clicked for them. We can see it, we can appreciate it, and we're damn well going to talk about it. And doesn't mean that they're definitely going to win this game.
Correct.
Anything can happen, and WildHeart has been hella resilient, but my, has it looked good. What Diamond Hands has been doing here so far. Next objective announced. It's going to be on the top side of the map. Hogger actually on the flank there. Slug Hunter was seeing if maybe he can catch some kind of break there. As Lupus is getting hurt, he's getting damaged a lot by Sylvanas, and they're collapsing on him. Avatar, he does get away though.
Oh, this is greedy,
Whoa.
Nintori. Steed charge to get out. Irons, that was so greedy. Divine Shield is forced as well. Mind Control goes out. Hortipult into the backline. Excuse me. Gust will push. Got Filth, but not up against the wall. Caesar Salad, who got who just used everything he could to save the Johanna, is going to go down. Oh, that's unfortunate. He's got some ghost heals, but
For a moment there, we had Nintori on Jana looking like a streamer, going for the high-hanging fruit.
Yeah, they I think they got the ladder out to try and get that one and just fell off the ladder.
And you know how they say, like, don't stand on the top rung of the ladder because
Correct.
it's not safe?
Yeah.
Yeah, he ignored that little sign.
I think he stood on it with one foot at the same time.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
trying
that
to
helped.
look what I can do.
Yeah, don't operate hedge cutter with one hand. He did it. Like, oh my god. I won't tell you what happens next, but it wasn't pretty.
Oh man, so we are going to see WildHeart grab another objective, and hey, look at this, Tracer, going to start boss, but it is going to be a rotation from Stukov to help out as well. It's not going to be, what is it? Dino has been consistently soloing bosses on Tracers and Li Ming's, in the past couple weeks. But 5 seconds remain on channel time. Boss was leashed as WildHeart is going to recognize that Diamond Hands is back. Nintori once again with the following sword. Steed charge immediately out.
Yo, imagine that falling sword that chased the Falstad. Imagine now if he clicked it directly over his allies and it blocked the Mighty Gust in its entirety so that Valimar and friends could keep skating forward. That would have been sick.
That would be crazy. You don't use falling sword to cleanse, use falling sword for aggression. For murder!
For damage, of course. Lupus got away from this situation once before, and he does again. This is his happy place. He's got his escape route planned out like a rabbit. You know, Predators, they practice war games. Prey, I had a rabbit pet once. They actually practice escape games. They do it for fun, but when they need it, they've got their route all plotted out. Looks like Lupus knows exactly how he wants to get out from aggression. Caesar Salad goes in as if he has D-Storm. He doesn't, by the way. Godfilth just deleting Greymane there. Uther got in position to help him, but it wasn't really necessary. It was an honorable one-on-one under enemy fort. Lupus planned his escape route once again. Gotta give credit where credit is due. But Diamond Hands here is pushing in massively to get the objective. Greymane deleting Tracer. And now it looks like Diamond Hands should be able to get the objective. They're already 2 forts up.
Yep.
And this could spiral out of control here for WildHeart.
They're going to try and step in on the side of WildHeart here. There's going to be a lot of good damage. There's a staggering blow from Slug Hunter. Lupus going to get pulled in. Greymane comes in with some Razor Swipes. 40 seconds on that go for the throat as Zergling has to gust away. Massive shove as well because Zergling was getting low. But all this time, the camp was ticking forward for the side of Diamond Hands. The Alliance Cavalry should be coming into lane. I don't see a world where Slug Hunter and crew can be able to defend this. Really, really good play. Once again, macro, look at this. Joanna, immediately, top lane, pushing into the wave. We have mid lane, we have Sylvanas locking down the tower. Falstead was showing in bottom, so they knew on the side of Diamond Hands that they could make this aggressive play. Now Nintori's coming in, has a condemn, will connect onto Slug Hunter, but is there enough to have a fight or a kill? Doesn't look like it. This is a really good call from Diamond Hands. Instead of advancing forward and taking the fight, they're waiting for the objective phase. Diamond Hands wants to have that amplified damage, speed, and siege potential with this Alliance Cavalry.
Yeah, and they get the bonus damage. Keep in mind what this does. Ability power, attack damage, and movement speed when you're in that aura. Lucio going forward with that stun on the trade. Big counter move though by Stukov. That's a big pulse rounds as well by Mason Blaze. The damage is there, but the layers of protection by Diamond Hands and how Uther always gives you that feeling when he's on the enemy team. They're so low! But there's always that stun, the armor. Not sure if that globe was worth a D-shield though. What do you think, Bahamut?
Well, let's see. Globe, 90-second cooldown, absolutely worth. Totally worth in Storm League. No, a little greedy, but I feel like that's kind of been the storyline in this map for Diamond Hands. They've been a little greedy in some of these moments, and they haven't been super punished. Yes, the Joanna did go down when she was trying to greed for that kill, but that's been one of the few times I feel that Diamond Hands has gotten punished for their greed, and is this greedy right now. Joanna feigning that she's got some friends around, and the camp will be pinged in the mid lane.
Quick look at the hero damage, kind of see where everyone is at. Johanna, 35,000, just under Sylvanas with 37,000. A lot of that is solo lane nonsense that doesn't lead to anything, but it's still impressive. She's got the same damage as Tracer almost. Johanna is. Again, not as relevant when leading to a kill, usually. Now, everyone is jumping in. It's WildHeart realizing that Johanna is, in fact, alone in this world, or at least almost alone. Valimar is here. And that there must be a play for the boss in the top lane, so they have to take that trade. So now the goal for WildHeart is take the boss, Hearthstone home. And they're doing that. Would have loved to actually see Johanna and Lucio come in and get some interrupts. It's almost like Lupus Circling understood that may or could happen, and therefore started walking home. But look at Valimar on Lucio. He's actually going to dismount Muradin, going to slow him down to the mid, slow him down to the top. And at this moment, Diamond Hands, they're just buying time for level 20s.
Well, that's a great example of what you were talking about earlier, the anti-siege with Valimar and this Lucio to slow down rotations, the dismounting. I think that's a great example of what you had kind of illustrated earlier for us, and we kind of actually get to see it here. But here we have Augustin from Falstad, falling sword from the Joanna Divine Shield onto the Pulse Bomb to Uther. Nintori trying to back away, gets a big condemn, shield glare as well. Slows will be applied, and there is going to be a stun into the wall. Joanna takes too much damage, and she will fall. Mind Control shall connect onto Lupus, but that doesn't matter. Uther is going to be the one to fall. Now that golden swirl around his head means that redemption is off of cooldown, and he will be able to respawn here. It is a 3-minute cooldown, 180 seconds, but for anyone that's ever playing and is wondering, hey, does the enemy Uther have that when he died? That golden swirl around his head is your signifier.
Yeah, and if you die first, then get level 20 and pick it, that doesn't work.
No,
You've got
no.
to pick the talent right
It's
before
not.
you
It's
die.
not like Odin. Yeah, with Odin 20, you can pick it and then get their big red button unlocked because it's like the panel opens up on Odin. It's like you now can hit big red buttons. So either way, it is. Yeah. Actually, I noticed that in one of the CCL weekends, I was just hovering on Tychus and all of a sudden he just had big red button. I'm like, oh, neat. Okay, well today I learned.
Like now there's nukes as well.
Yeah, it's just so someone came through and yeah.
Mighty Gust level 20, and Uther gets deleted
Yep.
again. With secretly, WildHeart is kind of suddenly winning here. They had the 5v4. Diamond Hands tried to. Oh!
How does that happen right there? No control Hogger. He will find that kill into the Greymane, but how did Greymane 1v4-5 right there?
1v5 pretty much, with a little bit of Uther Holy Spirit still giving him that armor. Now the interrupts on the objective, you know, this is all coming at a price to WildHeart. This isn't just Diamond Hands being a bonobo monkey tribe, dancing in front of the car to show their friends how cool they are. Nah, there's a plan here. We've got the null camp plus minion wave killing the mid keep as we speak, as we spoke, in fact. Stance, keep us down. Fantastic job. And they're stopping the objective. There's 7 seconds left. It's suddenly a 3v3. There's Heaven's Fury, Falling Sword. Lupus drops low still as Avatar. Tracer got mind controlled there into Kels here. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Another Heaven's Fury comes in and they do get the interrupt. Wait, what? 0.2? 0.2?
No. Oh, okay, they do get it. The mid lane keep, as you were mentioning, Grubby, does fall. Lupus was some 700 HP. Oh, man, that was so close. If Greymane was alive right there, oh, that would have been Diamond Hands shutting that down. But
then Falstad would have been alive too. Yeah. Because he killed Falstad for his life.
That is true. Do you want to get into Diamond Hands, or not Diamond Hands, do you want to get into WildHeart comms as they have this objective late game?
I mean, I prefer Diamond Hands. We got a chance for because Diamond Hands is probably gonna win this fight. But okay, yeah. Well, let's do WildHeart. If they make it back, we want to hear how.
Yeah, exactly. Here we go.
I really don't want to be here right now, but
Oh, I'm looking. We're fine.
What for popping here? Yeah,
I'm looking.
don't let them go through the mud. Like if they fight in the mud,
Yeah, not letting him.
I'm here, by the way.
Bang those, yeah.
Just gonna step up to the wall. Stun Kelsier, maybe?
Gotfilth is going in. I'm gusting this. Look, Gotfilth.
Getting a D shield. That's D shield.
That's all my
Play
heals.
slow.
Play slow. Play slow.
I use
play slow.
rewind.
All my heals.
I mean, God, they have no D shield. Play slow. Heal up.
I have third wind, so it's gonna pop in a sec. I'm gonna get stopped on it actually.
You gotta turn. Look for stun. Call your target.
Backline, backline.
I'm dead.
I
live.
Got C.
I'm not controlling.
Kelsey
I'm 1
next, Kelsey
HP,
next.
can't fight yet.
Caesar.
Joe first.
Caesar, right?
Caesar.
He has
redemption.
redemption.
Just kill. Yeah, kill Joe.
I missed, my bad. But whatever.
We're gonna end
Nice.
off of this.
Yep.
I don't know if we can end. We can double
I don't
boss. I think we just double boss.
Top,
no, for 10.
Go bot.
We can start
Just
bot.
go
Yeah.
bot. Yeah, go
Okay.
bot.
Just double boss.
A titanic turnaround from the side of WildHeart. I'm what?
Koba,
That was just pure caster luck, honestly.
you knew. You knew.
I'm not. I swear, I didn't read the script. Beckwin stopped sending it to me.
Well, it's just your experience by now. By the way, pretty nutty to have a 4v1 with 40-second death timers in front of a keep. Basically undefended, and to have a team turn around and say, I don't think we can end off of this. And you know what? I bloody well think they're right.
Yep. Why? You know what?
It's pretty nutty.
Why is that? Let's talk about the map mechanic. Why is it the fact that they can't just go bottom lane, take a keep, and end?
3 keeps up means the core has 60 armor, and by the way, invulnerable as well. 2 keeps is 40 armor, 40% damage reduction, and 1 keep up means 20 armor. And not only that, but this is kind of a special core. It moves, it whirlwinds, kind of like a barbarian from the Diablo series, and yeah, it just kind of kicks ass. And plus, there are no medals for trying. There's no silver medals.
Yep.
Either you get the core or it heals by itself. It has like a turbo super duper mule working at it. It regenerates real fast out of combat. So on other maps, 20% core might have been enough for a future finish with a Mighty Gust. Here, they back off. It's pretty nutty, but this is probably the right play. They can get one keep off of this second boss and then the objective, which can then get the bottom keep, which will put everything into a final team fight with both teams having one keep. And then, yeah, maybe the objective will help WildHeart. You've got Diamond Hands going in now. That's a big Mighty Gust into the wall. It's a permastun. D-Shield actually procs together with Falling Sword. I think that's the reason why he was able to self-deal D-Shield. Those are some pretty big heroic cooldowns. We've got 12 seconds of Falling Sword. Hager goes in. Does he have a no control? He actually gets interrupted twice into that no control. Now he goes for it. For the spin. A great spin. That's one kill already.
Greymane does fall, a little bit of slow from the Stukov, but the Iron Skin will mitigate that on this Joanna. Mid lane camp is cleared out. Boss is on core on the left-hand side. Diamond Hands not concerned because here's the great example of the core. You can see it quickly, with that turbo heal, gaining back to 28,100 HP. But here comes the cavalry once again for the side of WildHeart. Are they going to be able to just shut down Diamond Hands? Because Diamond Hands looked good at the start, but look at this, it's 3-12 in kills. WildHeart are the ones who are really starting to take control of this late game Alterac Pass map. And I gotta say, Grubby, this first best of 5 of the day, that first map looked really good for Diamond Hands, but WildHeart, they're rallying. They are really saying, okay, this is not any sort of 3-0. We are gonna be showcasing that this is gonna be a series to go the distance.
And it's so hard to play too, like Mason Blaze Tracer into Uther. It's not easy by any means. He only has one death, he has 80,000 damage. He definitely knows how to play this matchup. Helps a lot that Lupus and Omuradin and Hager by Slug Hunter are so disruptive, but this is super impressive. Now we have that 1 versus 1 keep situation that I warned you guys about. It has been equalized. We've got a 4% health and damage advantage for WildHeart by virtue of that singular level. It doesn't represent any talent differences, but just a bit of bonus stats. And WildHeart, I mean, the world is their oyster, but under which rock is this oyster hiding? That's for Diamond Hands to answer. And if you look at their vision, they don't know anything. They did ping the bottom enemy keep, though. I just saw an assist ping by Diamond Hands under the enemy keep. Fast Touch shows up. And no one else showed up. I'm still looking at the vision for Diamond Hands. For all they know, Circling is soloing mid. I'm now looking at everything, and I see that that's not the case. He's got some friends with him. But Diamond Hands are no fools. They're just going to have the safest person do a bit of solo laning, Nidhori, and everyone else on the camp. And for the rest, they stick together. Everything, Bahamut, will come down to a single team fight.
You took the words out of my mouth because it's exactly what I was about to say, Grubby. This next team fight will determine who wins Alterac Pass because 2 kills. 2 kills is probably enough to just go core and end game, or at least make an attempt, because both teams have only 1 singular keep remaining, which means 20% reduction. Here comes a stun onto Murden. He pops the avatar. There is going to be a mind control as well. Some shield glares onto Lupus as well. And we're looking at...
Great trade. Yeah. Mind control, 15-second cooldown for avatar.
Which is 75 right now. And no camp
does he have the reverb for resets? He does have reverb for resets, but he can't really safely walk up to get a few thunderclaps on enemy heroes to get it back faster.
All right, another objective phase. 30 seconds on the bottom lane boss, a minute and 10 seconds on the top lane boss. Null camps were already cleared out. Those have probably got about a minute. No, 28 seconds on the left and 33 seconds on the right. I forgot it's a minute 30 cooldown. Those are very, very short. I think it's either this next objective or this next fight. Like it's just this tense moment for both these teams.
It definitely is, and you know, Diamond Hands. The difference here, Diamond Hands is showing a lot as a team, as 5, which gives WildHeart the knowledge of where they are. WildHeart shows less, though that boombox did do great. Oh, Uther raised his hand already by the holy light, and Zergling is like, nah. He goes away. Godfield just used Inner Beast. You can hear that laughter. Now he doesn't have it anymore. So you look at him, it's on a 12 seconds cooldown. That's actually a really important window for WildHeart to try to abuse. It's at 8 seconds where Greymane doesn't have full damage. If at all possible, WildHeart should try to bait Inner Beast, which is a longer cooldown than Dark Lady's Call, funnily enough. Oh, that's a big one, potentially.
Caesar Salad gets the self-divine shield once again.
Whoa.
I'm gonna check really quickly to
D-shield.
see. He does have. Oh, excuse me. I think he has redemption. Off a
Yeah,
cooldown.
he should have it. It's
Yeah.
been a long time since he died. But that D-shield was panicky indeed. No cleanse right now for Uther. It's on a 25-second. Mind control comes in on Avatar. He's got Avatar again, on Meridian, I should say. Avatar again. Mighty Gust. There's the cleanse. Oh, like a lot of heroics being used. Maybe not 100% for optimum value, though it's understandable because a single pickoff can end the game, Bahamut.
We keep saying this, but it's just getting more and more tense as the map scales with the 27 minutes we're in here, and those Reaver minions, as the Observer was just showing, those Reaver minions, they don't deal extra damage to structures like catapults, but what they do have is 50 armor, and that allows them to just tank and siege these lanes. Steed charge used by the Joanna, and we will see the stall at 25 seconds, halfway through the objective in favor for WildHeart, but the chase is on. Caesar Salad looking at Hogger, but Hogger gets a nice bounce off the wall, safely disengages. Joanna has to go to top lane to clear this massive wave, and once she shows, I'm curious, okay, WildHeart, no, they want this camp, and this is just going to be camp on the right, but they actually disengage the objective. They let it self-cancel with the jailers, and this is going to be a boss call for bottom lane.
Well, Diamond Hands actually enabled that cancel as well. There was a bit of attempt by the grunts, by the jailers, but I did see the channel. Part of the reason why Johanna, by the way, had to clear that massive wave is not because it ends, but because Mighty Gust run by backdoor. Oh, Slug Hunter!
Mind Control will connect onto this Slug Hunter, and he is going to get shredded right there. This boss is going to be falling soon. Gust is off of cooldown, but here is the falling sword, the iron skin. Lupus is trying to sustain on the point, but is this a throw for a team? Mind Control connects onto one. Sylvanas will be traded. That's going to be the Stukov going down. We have Falstad to fall. Steed charge onto Mason Blaze. He stands still and says, I accept my fate. 28 minutes in. 5 members of WildHeart will fall, and Diamond Hands, they have the boss through bottom. They actually move through bottom a little bit here and go to core. Diamond Hands with a massive win on this map. 8-13 in kills, and honestly, Grubby, I was actually prepping for a WildHeart win. I was mentally there. I thought WildHeart had put enough pieces to be able to just take down Diamond Hands, but it's not the case. Diamond Hands pull off the amazing boss start, leash, restart, re-kill, and Diamond Hands will take map number 2 on Alterac Pass 29 minutes and 18 seconds later. Really, really well played, Grubby.
They were 3 versus 13 in takedowns, or like 2 or 4. It was insane. But it all comes down to that final boss fight. And Slug Hunter, he played an amazing game, but he blundered into enemy bush. After he knew that the boss had been taken down to such a low health. You had Diamond Hands trying to take down the boss, cheese down the boss, it was good. But WildHeart got there so early. And then the boss was half-life. Where do you think they're going to be? He just walked in, he got permastunned. You know, Hogger, very good hero, but he's going to wind up on everything. But this isn't so much just about a mistake. It's about the capitalization. It's about how we got there. There's so many moves from either side that could have ended it. This is unfortunate. But the value here, by the way, Johanna's damage, can we look at that again? This is ridiculous. I've been talking about Johanna making top 4 damage. She's got the highest in the game. This is ridiculous. This is crazy. That's the MVP right there. The falling swords that he had to stop Mighty Gust as well, insane.
Oh, such good Joanna play, but we got Justin back in with us right now to break down everything from Alterac Pass.
Yeah, over 100,000 damage by Johanna. That's something that we definitely don't see very often here in the CCL, so that's interesting, and well done by Nintori to do that. I think part of that is probably a little bit stat padded from being in the offlane and just fighting against Hogger a lot, but I mean, that's not 100,000 damage worth, so good job by Nintori to be able to do that much damage. And this game was a strange dynamic for the majority of the early game where it felt like WildHeart could win fights, but even when they were winning fights, they were still typically losing on a macro front. So Diamond Hands throughout the game had very good macro. Every time WildHeart would win a fight, Diamond Hands would actually just still be winning out on the map. There was the time that literally every single time they would take a fight, Diamond Hands was only taking fights when they had a macro advantage to gain. When they had Null Camp pushing mid was when WildHeart looks to fight. And so even though Diamond Hands wasn't winning the fights, they were still typically coming out ahead in almost every single engage. no matter how poorly the fight would go for Diamond Hands, they were still kind of just slowly creeping ahead. Like during the first objective, you had WildHeart who got it, but during that whole time, Gotfilth is just pushing bot fort by himself on Greymane and manages to get an entire fort. So that was kind of what it felt like the whole dynamic of the game was just WildHeart winning things, but not actually getting much for it, and then Diamond Hands just winning everything on the map. It feels very bad to get the first objective and expend so many resources only for a lone Greymane to take your entire fort while your objective amounted to maybe a gate, maybe 2 gates. It felt rough for them, but Diamond Hands basically had perfect macro. It did feel like they were really struggling in those team fights up until that last crucial one on the boss. The boss moment was a little bit funny because you could tell that Diamond Hands starts it, and then they get scared when they see Lupus on Muradin. But Zergling shows up, and he's got Wind Tunnel, and you could tell, I know for a fact Zergling was the one who pinged it when he saw the half HP boss, like, ooh, boss is here. Like, they were initially it was a danger ping, and then I saw that, but that ended up being the wrong move in the end, as Slug Hunter gets picked off, a good mind control by Kelsier, and into just a deletion on the Hogger, kind of just led to the downfall of that 4v5, where they're all just piling onto the boss point. That's definitely a place where the Johanna with Falling Sword thrives. That's definitely a place where Sylvanas thrives. I'd say Gotfilth is probably my MVP for the game. He had that one pop-off moment where he denied the objective by just jumping in randomly, like 1v4 and getting a kill. Yeah. It was really, really sick, especially considering it wasn't an easy game to be a Greymane either. They had Reverb on Muradin, and they also had Stukov physical armor. Both of those things should be essentially hard counters to Greymane in a team fight, and he was still able to get a lot of work done. So Gotfilth playing really well in these last 2 games, and yeah, just well played, especially on a macro front by Diamond Hands. And they didn't even have the composition that should have that macro advantage. So really, really cool to see. And although WildHeart was winning fights, I feel like Diamond Hands like really deserved that win just based on their early game macroing. So well played by Diamond Hands, and well played by both teams.
Really good game so far today on HeroesCCL. We're in our first best of 5 of the day, and it's seeming like Diamond Hands could take this in a 3-0 fashion, but we're going to take a small little break. We're going to let WildHeart figure out how they want to draft Probius for the start of their reverse sweep. In that break, I encourage you to hit ! prize pool. Where will that take you? It'll take you over to the Matcherino, where you can donate towards the HeroesCCL prize pool. We're at $9,059 because of your support, and we're trying to get to that 10K push because of your support and love for HeroesCCL, so make sure you hit ! prize pool in this break. We'll be back with more HeroesCCL in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. See you soon. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to HeroesCCL, presented by Wisdom. My name is Bahamut, joined by Grubby and Justing, and we're in our first best of 5 of the day, as we've got Diamond Hands beating out WildHeart Esports for the time being. I mean, things can definitely change, Justin. We could see that Probius drafted. Maybe. Dare I say it? WildHeart goes for the best heroes in Heroes of the Storm and drafts Cho'Gall, right?
Yes, they're definitely drafting Cho'Gall this game. Their backs are against the wall. They need to pull out their best strategy they have available. So Probius, Cho'Gall, definitely in the cards.
You know, what's funny is you say that, and I know what map we're going to. Let's actually inform everyone at home where we're going to, and we can discuss this crazy composition further, because it is going to be the map choice from WildHeart to take us to Towers of Doom. Now, WildHeart was the losing team, so they had the choice of map pick or first pick. It's not super common to see map pick over first pick priority, so this means that WildHeart has something they want to bring to the table here, Grubby.
Yeah, I mean, they have to choose the battleground that they're going to be going on now. There's plenty of OP heroes to pick. I don't think first pick matters as much now anymore because it's a little bit less known. Everything what's good and what's not good, because there's been that patch and there's plenty of heroes. It's more about the strategy rather than just picking and stringing together strong heroes. So the battleground definitely matters. There's not going to be any stitches, skullduggery, says Diamond Hands. They're vibing here. They don't want any special tactics coming out from WildHeart. And the question is, does WildHeart have any special tactics, or are they just picking good heroes together? Because it's Diamond Hands that really brought a clever draft twice in a row.
Yeah.
So we mustn't forget that Johanna has been absolutely pivotal in Diamond Hands' play today. Will WildHeart keep giving it to them?
It seems like it's a possibility here. Really quickly, for any stat hounds out there, we have Towers of Doom wins losses for these teams. Diamond Hands sits 1-1, 1 win, 1 loss, and WildHeart sits 1 win, 2 losses. So a little bit technically a better record for the side of Diamond Hands, but those are a few maps in the pool of CCL. And there's that first pick, Joanna, for the side of Diamond Hands, Justin.
Yeah, I thought it was a little bit weird that they chose to take map pick here. I really was assuming them to ban assuming they would ban Vikings and Johanna. They opt to still ban the Anubarak, so really, really strange because it feels like Johanna has been very critical to what Diamond Hands has been drafting and very pivotal to their success. You saw in the last game, Johanna had 102k hero damage, top damage, just ridiculous. So
312k in Siege as well.
Yeah,
like the highest
really
siege.
weird. Yeah, so I think very strange that they didn't ban it here. I was kind of expecting that they were going to ban Johanna and play for their reverse sweep with Vikings Johanna banned away, but they don't do that. So I'm a bit worried for WildHeart, honestly. Giving away the Johanna again, it seemed really, really strong. And even though they didn't pick the Medivh here on the third pick, they still have the option to go Medivh for Diamond Hands if they want. I don't expect WildHeart to pick it unless they're feeling kind of desperate to deny it, because Lucio and Medivh don't really work too well together. It's not really the best combo of support and Medivh. And I do like that Diamond Hands also banned away the... they still opt to go for it. So I think they might be getting a little bit desperate even. And so, I'm a bit worried for...
Diamond Hands could have gone Diablo Medivh on their final two picks, and it would have been very similar draft to before, right?
Yeah. And so I think that WildHeart did this just to deny it, which isn't necessarily... It's not great foresight by them, I think, picking the Lucio, because they know that Rhaegar is available. Valimar played it. He can play Rhaegar, so I think it's a bit of a mistake by WildHeart. I think they're kind of disjointed in their drafting, where they pick the Lucio, maybe not expecting to go that Medivh later on in the draft, and we'll see if that ends up hurting them, depending what their last pick is here. They might be really lacking damage on the side of WildHeart, depending on what their last pick is. If they go with a traditional offlane hero, like we typically see, like the Blaze, there's the Blaze. Lunara is not the best hyper carry. She is more of a poke hero now. So it's going to be a lot of pressure on Mace and Blaze to be able to perform and put out damage. If the Lunara was a Vala, then their comp would be really strong and scary, but Lunara just doesn't do that same type of sustained damage that you kind of need when you have a solo DPS Medivh comp. So I'm pretty worried for WildHeart. A lot is going to come down to Lupus on the Diablo. I'm hoping to see him go the auto attack build with APOC so that they need to have a hyper carry Diablo this game. I think if they go anything else, it's going to be a big struggle. So I really like what Diamond Hands has put together. They also got the Junkrat in order to counter the Medivh. Getting a Junkrat last pick is unheard of up until now with the new patch. Everything's kind of up in the air in the draft meta, which really shakes things up in the draft here. So I'm going with Diamond Hands. I think that they have the momentum. I think that they played better macro game, and I think they can take it, but they also can get reverse swept because they are Diamond Hands, so we'll have to find out what happens.
A stellar review from Justing, and then just a little flame right at the end. I definitely love that spice, Justing. Thank you for the analysis, the breakdown, as always, because we are here into map number 3. Diamond Hands looking to try and 3-0 WildHeart. Is it possible? Let's find out. Kelsey on the Sylvanas, Nintori on the Joanna, Valimar on the Rhaegar, Got Filth on the Junkrat, and Caesar Sal to play the Tyrael. Over in the red, making their way into mid, we've got Lunara, played by Mason Blaze, Zergling on the Medivh, Slug Hunter on the Blaze, Weary Day on the Lucio, and Lupus on the Diablo. That's your WildHeart crew. Let's see if WildHeart can rally here and start to take down Diamond Hands. I mean, Justin does have a point. Diamond Hands are up 2-0 in a series, and this is where they found themselves in the past getting reverse swept.
I don't believe it. I think this is a new Diamond Hands. Everything we've seen today oozes that confidence and execution level. Got filth. That's illegal. That was weird.
Oh, and the spray too. Wow.
Yeah, wow. I don't know if anyone saw it, but we did, and that's what matters.
But Grubby, please. What do you think about the drafts that we've had?
So I honestly believe we would have seen Diablo Medivh by Diamond Hands in the final 2 slots if WildHeart didn't take it. So they've definitely begun to deconstruct hard. Kelsey goes down.
First blood.
Deconstruct. First blood. It's one day we'll get it. They definitely deconstructed part of what Diamond Hands was trying, though not the first part in the Johanna Rhaegar. They managed to deconstruct the second part. So good job at WildHeart playing that draft interactively and not just going for what you want for. I was really curious to see what Diamond Hands would get in those final 2 slots. They take Tyrael and Junkrat, both of whom are soft Medivh counters. kind of able to keep up with that portal mobility thanks to Tyrael's movement speed buffs, and Junkrat with the CC manipulation on top of portals. And he's relatively safe because of that concussive escape. We saw that against Diablo just now. But it is an adaptation by Diamond Hands. I think while the draft was very smart again, I don't think it has the same layers necessarily to it as before. The Tyrael Junkrat, I believe it was an adaptation. They took really good stuff. It individually gets counters. And yeah, so let's see. I think this is WildHeart's best chance so far in terms of draft.
I absolutely agree.
Do you have that replay lined up again of that first kill, Bahamut?
Yeah, let's take a look at that. Let's see how things unfolded in this first little engagement.
As we're getting ready to roll that up, things kind of happen in the present as well.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see the Sapper camp come through the bottom lane, and Portal from Medivh will be forward. Lupus and the rest of WildHeart trying to push up this lane. It's going to be frozen for a second by Kelsey, who's getting chunked to 50% once again. Medivh still building up the stacks, 11 out of the 40s. Still actually 14, holy crap. As the Sappers will be cleared out, not getting much value in this bottom lane poke. But I think we can actually take a look at that replay really quickly now.
All right, as we have the rotation going to mid, we roll the replay and we see Kelsey there is getting attacked. It was actually a big slow. The cleanse happened on Caesar Salad by Valamar. Don't know if that was a misclick.
Yeah.
Because the jet propulsion hit both and stunned Sylvanas. Maybe it was a misclick. It's actually interesting with Rhaegar because his purge can hit enemies and allies. I've actually found myself misclicking enemies to slow them instead of getting the cleanse on my ally when everyone is like grouped up.
I have very much struggled with that myself, actually.
Which made me feel like Blizzard should have done it like this. Just like Helping Hand, you can choose it's an aggressive or an ally targeting only cleanse.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I see what you mean. I see. Like, just make it two different buttons, sort of deal.
Yeah, because it's on D now. D should be purge anyone, and 1 should be only purge allies.
And then 2 could be like purge enemy or something. That actually I would love that.
Either 1 and 2 for targeting, or D and 1. Like both.
Okay,
is
yeah,
fine,
yeah. I see what you mean. I agree. Like that would actually make things a lot easier. Because I have flubbed a couple purges. We did get I got a kill from it, but it's my ally still died, so I feel bad that I messed up. But either way, another steal attempt onto this camp from the side of WildHeart. Diamond Hands wants to respond. Tyrael does dive in with the Eldruin's Might. Caesar Salad getting chunked. Does get the purge from this Rhaegar, but he's still just sitting on the point, trying to sustain. And Tori does come in here. We do have that trait value from Tyrael, but it's going to be mitigated by the portal. Mostly mitigated by the portal. And the camp will go over to the side of WildHeart. Felt like Diamond Hands were over-invested, and Lunara... Oh, she got blasted over the wall with the concussion mine. I was like, how is that even possible?
Yeah.
There, okay.
Yeah, that seemed like illegal poaching. I'm not sure you're supposed to hunt deer there. There we go. Nice job there by Godfield. Honestly, feel like Tyrael should have stayed on point. I think I see what he was doing, Caesar Salad. He's like, I'm going to choose to die now. I get it. Good trait usage. But just stay on the point. I don't think you should chase people to try and actively hit them when there's portals, because they can just last second take it. I think he was supposed to stay on point and allow his allies to go for the sappers. Be that as it may, it's a 1-for-1. It's fine. His death timer was short.
I'm curious to get Justin's thoughts after this game on the Diablo build, because it is not into that auto attack based build, and we'll see how this scales out. But speaking of scaling, we will see 10 talents here soon. That's going to be a concussion mine onto the Diablo. Lupus does have full souls. He's trying to shadow charge around. Mason Blaze looking for a target in the backline. Valmar does get that bite. He does have that feral spirit at feral heart at level 1 for that armor in and out of wolf run form.
Wolf Run, yeah. Strange term.
Ghost
Wolf
Wolf.
Run.
Ghost Wolf actually is the name for it. But Johanna.
Wolf Run was the old level 4 talent, actually. Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. So okay. I have validation in my mess up.
Or maybe it was level 1, but yeah, it was the one that gave you mount instead of sub mount speed. That talent is gone now. Rip in Pepe hands. But level 10 gonna be reached for both teams here. Very, very even game. Structure damage doesn't matter quite as much on this map. It's basically level 10 each. They go for Junkrat. He gets absolutely blown to smithereens. Sanctification, too late. Lovely jet propulsion. There's a ley line. WildHeart isn't done yet.
Iron Skin will be used, and Tyrael is able to back away. I guess they are. They're not done yet.
Finished?
They're done.
No, we're not. Oh, yes, we are. Sorry. Wait, there was still the Divine Steed from Johanna.
Medivh also did finish out his baseline Arcane Rift stack, so he cannot lose those, so it's time to turbo int as Medivh. The other thing to note, too, is we do have the Taste for Explosions on the Junkrat at level 4, and it is going to be the... there's going to be 55 stacks on that, so you scale by 0.2% up to 40% is the scaling on that one. And then Sticky Wicket at level 7, the assumption will be that he is going to be going for that big as at level 13, as there's a dive onto CCL, but the Eldruin's Might allows him to get away.
They go through the portal, suddenly they're on top of Johanna. He's going to Iron Skin and Divine Steed away, and we've seen this behavior a lot from Nintori. I think that's the 4th time where he just falling swords away, where he's very good at burying the sunk costs of wasting such cooldowns and really just limiting losses. We saw a few D shields as well from Caesar Salad last game that felt the same, where Diamond Hands is willing to waste those cooldowns in order to not die, which is a very safe way to play, and also is very it shows confidence in the course of a longer game that they're going to make good decisions while losing out on short-term efficiency. They're not playing greedy, you see what I mean? Greedy usually comes from lack of confidence in a normal good conclusion in the late game.
I like this conclusion right here from WildHeart saying, oh, we can grab this camp and we got Sentinel Wisp to be able to provide any sort of incoming enemy heroes. Eldruin's Might into the bush from the Tyrael will not activate that, lets it expire. Some shielding to come out as well. Zergling has the Leyline Seal off a cooldown. Apocalypse as well. Actually, all heroics are off cooldown as we have a double Ultra Phase popping up. 13 talent here, looming for both sides. And I'm waiting to see when Riptire will be used by the Junkrat, as well as the Leyline Seal set up for Lupus. Bit of a split fight right now. Johanna going for the channel. Blaze should interrupt her as he does rotate in from the mid lane. Weary Day poking out, was keeping that wall ride active. Caesar Salad getting poked down a little bit. Mason Blaze going for the channel. Godfilt has one interrupt, and that's Leyline Seal gone. That's actually a good go time. That should be the green light for the side of WildHeart to go, and great Ancestor Healing onto Kelsier, and there was a singular auto onto Mason Blaze to stop him channeling. Meanwhile, Blaze and Johanna still brawling out, and 13's just now coming through for WildHeart, a sliver of an advantage to Diamond Hands in that moment, as Nintori actually leaves Blaze for a second or two to try and help out his team. Here's the Apocalypse, the targeting is onto Tyrael, falling sword from the Johanna allows Tyrael to back away. Blaze still not going for the channel because he keeps saying, do I enter the fight, do I leave the fight, and Junkrat will poke out once. Grubby, this is a very, very delayed objective phase, but who actually can win this? Because it feels like it should be WildHeart.
Looks like they've got Godfilth, by the way. Oh no, he gets away with the concussive, but Valimar was baited to be in a bad position. Slug Hunter actually gets the channel there, and the jet propulsion. There's the sanctification. Zergling is low. Riptire comes in, blows up just in time, hurts Mason Blaze and Zergling a lot. There is still one objective here, as WildHeart gets the first one. A lot of cool moments there. We've got Purge on a 6-second cooldown for Valimar, so soon he can help out with that again. Heroics available, just Thornwood and maybe High Five. And Leyline Seal is coming back soon as well. Falling Sword also. Purge is available, he just used it. And another channel by WildHeart. Congratulations, they've got both of the objectives in a very hard-fought victory. In the meantime, we do have Johanna pushing in mid, and top was already kind of pushed in as well. WildHeart pretends to leave and rounds back up.
Looking to re-engage right now, and I am completely incorrect. It's going to be the Ripper Air at level 13 for Junkrat, so definitely having some change in priority into the talent playstyle for Junkrat, at least from the side of Diamond Hands, since we did have those changes onto the big ass from level 7 to 13. And either way, it is going to be another objective phase. Is a triple or double? I think it's double. I just can't see on the mini-map because there are a few icons
It is double?
Okay, it is double, so... This should be traded, but honestly, like, Diamond Hands has given over the last 2 objectives, 3 bell towers in totality to WildHeart, and it feels like Diamond Hands can't step up, Grubby. Like every time I watch this, and I'm trying to break down, like, where does Diamond Hands step in? How can they step in? I don't see it. It actually feels like a giant wall that WildHeart has made that they can't break through on the side of Diamond Hands.
Yeah, really impressive how WildHeart is holding here, is exerting pressure with their single assassin, Mason Blaze. Zergling's damage, of course, respectable as well. We got Lunara at 32, Medivh at 26k. He's definitely helping. Look at those arcane rifts there. That's a miss. Puts it on a 7-second cooldown. But overall, really well held by WildHeart. But still, look at the kills, Bahamut. 3-1 in favor of WildHeart. How's the XP doing?
It's over to the side of Diamond Hands, but look at, I think it's Joanna difference, really. Like, I think she's just been doing a lot of double soaking.
Yep, she has 127k siege damage, Blaze only 104. Also because Blaze was needed more often to help. That's what gave us some of the kills. So Slug Hunter has been choosing to do that 5v4 as Nitori gets blind after blind. Real annoying there, Nitori.
Trying to angle those Blessed Hammers as well. As there's a dive onto Zergling in mid lane. He does, or this is actually bottom, excuse me. He does use the Leyline Seal to back away, and the Sapper Camp will be cleared up before it finds any structural value. Nitori getting unmounted by Slug Hunter, and it's just going to be continued rotation, 16 up on both sides. We have that Holy Renewal for the Joanna, hitting enemy heroes with Shield Glare reduce its cooldown by 1.5 seconds, and heals for 5% of Joanna's maximum HP.
Very useful ability. She's already spamming the blinds out just for damage, getting those numbers up. Currently at 19,000. Definitely not the numbers from last game yet. It was a long game with a lot of falling swords. They push Johanna top, immediately go bot. Johanna gets it. You see, he immediately turned around in Nitori. He's coming back in, out of vision, I may add, to make this a 5 versus 5 if necessary. Godfield using that Ripper Air to rotate so that he can basically get past this scary center on a very short cooldown. But Slug Hunter is looking for him and seeing if he can maybe catch Junkrat.
Sticky Wicket did catch Lupus right there, that steel trap, so they know, Diamond Hands, that WildHeart is on this camp. Lupus has full souls. Here comes another objective phase, or another Sapper Camp point fight, as we do have the Leyline Seal out from the Medivh. But where's the Apocalypse? Where's the beef?
Well, Diablo was getting perma-CC'd. First, he took a Riptire to the face that was very well positioned by Godfield. Lucio blocked that Riptire from popping Diablo over far to the west side. That's the high five. Then he got popped by Riptire. Diablo got pushed back into Diamond Hands. He was just able to get into the bunker from a surprisingly large range, by the way. And then he really couldn't think of anything else but to just try to get away. 1-for-1 trades in the altar phase in the top. Now everything to play for here in this center objective.
Diamond Hands need to make something happen here because they are falling behind in core experience by 8 shots in total. So this would be actually a nice win for Diamond Hands. Otherwise, it could just be WildHeart continually whittling down the defenses of this Diamond Hands side. We do have the Arcane Rift used right there, or excuse me, the Leyline Seal, but we do have Temporal Flux at level 16, so the cooldown reduction is insane for this Medivh once he hits someone with an Arcane Rift or basic attack onto an enemy hero, but a lot of WildHeart being zoned away by the sustained poke of Gotfilth and Kelsier.
Kelsier actually able to step up and do a lot of damage. He feels real confident at the right times. Hitting Diablo, I never really dare that, but he looks at people's cooldowns and where his allies are and stuff. Diamond Hands closes the gap. They're ahead in experience still, and are now only 4 shots apart from WildHeart.
This is a good game. Like I know Diamond Hands are up in the series and they've been dominant on some of the other maps. But this is it's been good back and forth. Like the team fights in this game have been really phenomenal. Grubby is we do have a portal forward looking for Valimar, and this will be a big shadow charge forward, trying to push him around. Valimar takes a lot of damage. No sanctification used, but it is off a cooldown.
No ancestral, no falling sword. And he wasn't there. Nothing. They knew he's gonna survive. Really, really good discipline.
Yeah, and that's the one thing to highlight in that is the discipline to understand how okay am I, and they're gigafine, as Lauber would say. No, actually, when Lauber says gigafine, he's usually dead.
Every gigafine, like this is so okay. I love that this happened. Yeah, everyone did. They actually are fine. It's totally fine here for Diamond Hands. They're very close to level 20. This game is still far from finishing. Even a single team fight wouldn't end this game. You still have to fight for it. Single altar phase further slows down the game. That is an awkward sword throw by Tyrael, really. You basically have Caesar Salad constantly locking down this very area that Diablo just stood that bush with the holy ground. But this time, he just got caught throwing his sword to the right side. Not exactly sure. I guess he was scouting, and Diablo caught him. Like, Lupus gratefully locked him down, and there was no way for Tyrael to get away. An awkward time, but all is not lost. Diamond Hands will give up one objective. Couldn't happen at a better time.
Better time for WildHeart, absolutely, as the Diamond Hands core will sit at 12 HP to the 20 of WildHeart. Boss is still up and available, but no one's really looking at it right now because it's not a win condition or a loss condition for either side. I like that Tyrael moment was such such a big shot to the side of Diamond Hands. Realistically, like I think that really kind of put him down a little bit in the momentum that they were starting to build back up against WildHeart. And it's another kill to WildHeart as well. But 20s are here, and Tyrael still hasn't taken a 20 yet. Do you think we Holy Arena? Maybe.
Well, what? Yeah, okay. He went for the Holy Arena. 1 second extra invulnerability. What else does he get, right? Like attack speed. He's got very little synergy for that. And he's got the basically the self armor. Oh, Leyline comes in. It's 2 targets.
Apocalypse will not be utilized. Junkrat will fall.
Wow.
Portal forward.
Another pickoff.
And there's a Sanctification a little late on the left-hand side. Good, like, just good picking aparting from the side of WildHeart. I can't think of the right word. But it's just, they're dismantling what Diamond Hands has done here. And maybe, just maybe, Diamond Hands not getting this Medivh plus Diablo and having to take the Junkrat Tyrael has hurt them a lot. But let's find out what's happening here, because the Ancestor Healing will connect on to Valimar. He does have the Farseer's Blessing for a little extra healing. Apocalypse not synergizing with the level 20 Medivh cheats because there is a increased duration on said Leyline Seal, and you have to make sure that you're communicating that. But here comes another Falling Sword from Joanna. Was aggressive for a second, but then immediately went defensive to back away. Notori does tap well. 20s are up. Junkrat dead for 15 more seconds as the Medivh gets the portal for the Blaze. Lunar on the bottom point. It's not game ending, but it does do a lot of good damage to the Diamond Hands core. This mid lane area does go down, but another Leyline Seal, Grubby.
Oh, getting caught by that second Leyline is always very, very hard to avoid. We have the cleanse coming in. Basically, this is Diamond Hands saying we don't want to drop to 4, even though we're 4v5. We don't want to lose this altar. Junkrat comes back in. It's actually phenomenal because once you're at 4 life, anything kills you.
Yeah.
It's like 2 degrees warmer than you like in your room temperature, you're dead. And they could lose to the objective, they could lose to the boss. They managed to survive that awkward area of time where they were 4v5 and are now fighting back on equal terms. Weary Day, way deep. Took a Riptide to the face, doesn't even feel it. And the 5-on-5 goes on. I feel like much comes down to this fight.
Big fight indeed. Falling sword after falling sword from the Joanna to get many resets. Sanctification will come out. There's a Leyline Seal as well, but Diablo, he's so very low. Junkrat will fall. Diablo gets a high five from Lucio, and he's actually okay. Lupus is fine. Giga fine. Turbo fine.
He was like 100 health.
Yeah.
The Junkrat was isolated. Actually fantastic Leyline Seal there by Medivh. He's going to be able to get not another Leyline Seal just yet. At this time, though, Diamond Hands has to fight 4v5 again, I think. Diablo's low enough for them to be able to continue this fight. They've got every heroic they need except Sanct. But they're going to let it go.
Yeah, they're just going to give up on this. And now here comes the troubling moment for the side of Diamond Hands. And I'm going to look under their vision really quickly. Blaze is the only one showing on the side of WildHeart on the minimap. And the concern I was thinking, I was like, okay, is there a boss call? And you can already see Diamond Hands moving towards the boss. They've got a lot of really good steal tools with the Holy Ground, no Sanctification for 36, some other tools as well, but like, they see this, they can either take it off the map, but here's the call, they're saying, no, we don't want to take this off the map just yet, because if WildHeart rotates, we're down a member, and they could just steal it and endgame that way. So here's that perplexing moment, Grubby, as you mentioned, where seemingly anything can kill the side of Diamond Hands, and WildHeart could take us to a map number 4.
Yeah, I think they should have just taken it as 4 maybe, but this is safer. They now see enough members to know it's not getting cheesed from behind them. So actually, I would have probably called for the boss, even as 4, because it's such, like, everything is risky. You know, life itself, risky, and not taking it feels risky as well. Taking it feels risky. It's all difficult options, but now instead they're playing it quote-unquote safe, which in itself is a bit unsafe, Diamond Hands will try to just defend everything. You're gonna have Johanna playing satellite defense on the objective. You gotta, and then you have the rest of Diamond Hands trying to just force a fight and win a fight. And then, you know, they have to split their attention between defending this altar and the boss, like non-stop, now that they've not taken that card off the table.
So this next altar phase could be game-winning for WildHeart, or the game could continue. There's an Apocalypse, actually timed perfectly with Leyline Seal, and that was a great overpowered Shadow Charge onto Rhaegar. Couldn't use his Ancestral Healing, couldn't get into the Sanctification. Single altar for WildHeart. And this has to be the all-in from Diamond Hands. They have to throw everything they possibly can at this to try and stall out this next objective, or even the game here. But still, it's not all lost. It's the members of WildHeart who have to climb from behind. Falling Sword from the Johanna, coming down onto a few members. Bunker down from the Blaze. Lupus, marked by the Sylvanas with her cursed arrows, but doesn't really threaten much. Zergling going for the channel. Seems like WildHeart has zoned out. Nintori gets the Shield Glare. Kelsier, Slug Hunter, is almost going to go for that dive underneath the tower. Another Shield Glare from the Johanna. Pops the Falling Sword with the Heaven's Fury, and there's a portal forward from a deep. Junkrat will fall. Weary Day chasing onto Sylvanas with the push-off. There's going to be the kill onto her, and GG's will go over to WildHeart. Oh boy, Grubby! Things are looking interesting for Diamond Hands, as they were up 2, and now it's 2-1. WildHeart continue our first best of 5 of the day. No 3-0 just yet here on HeroesCCL, but I'm sure, Justin, you got a lot of thoughts from that last game.
Yeah, this is starting to look a little too familiar for Diamond Hands, being up 2-0 in the series and then losing the third game. So we'll see how that goes going forward. But that game, I'm going to say Zergling's definitely my MVP. I think that the draft that he was against certainly helped. The Tyrael for Diamond Hands felt a little bit awkward in the game. Him having no hard CC, no real threat against Medivh meant that Zergling, post-level 16, was able to just get so many resets on Leyline, and that game kind of felt like it was just, the whole game just felt like we were just waiting for Leyline, and it was like, when's the next Leyline? And every time Leyline would come out, that would be kind of like when the action would happen, and Diamond Hands just felt like they were on the back foot pretty much the entire game, which I think a lot of that is because they have the Tyrael, so it's hard to engage, but I think Caesar Salad needed to kind of step up a bit and just play a little bit more aggressive. He did have the full tank Tyrael build with the Holy Ground and the CDR at 16 for that, so if he was able to get in and get any auto attacks off at all, he could have maybe had some good engages just with the Holy Ground and just having multiple Holy Grounds out at a time, but that never really happened. It felt like they were always playing defensively, and the thing that I feel like should have happened but didn't really happen is there's normally an interesting dynamic between Leyline and Sanctification where you want to save your Leyline for the Sanct because you can completely negate it like a Void Prison does. But they never really, like, it didn't feel like they needed to do that in this game, which is sort of strange. I think Diamond Hands needed to play a little bit more aggressively just in general. I think they were giving a little bit too much respect to WildHeart in this game. It felt like they were playing sort of scared. And Got Filth also getting picked off a little bit too much in the late game. He was kind of the glimmer of hope for them, because as everyone was sort of just fighting into bottom, he was getting a ton of stacks on his level 4 quest. So by late game, he was doing a ton of damage, but he just didn't feel like there was anywhere for him to be safe. And I think Sylvanas probably felt the same way, where the constant threat of ley lines just coming out from anywhere is enough to kind of just pick them off. So they just didn't feel safe, I guess, for like Got Filth and Kelsier. But Diamond Hands just, I think, playing a little bit too slow, and that really plays into what this Medivh comp wants. Zergling wants to just press Qs and just play around leyline, and when that's down, they don't have to do anything. So well played by WildHeart, and I do think that maybe Diamond Hands did hinge too much on the draft on expecting to get that Diablo Medivh in the last 2 picks, because their last 2 picks did come out to be a little bit strange. Mostly the Tyrael pick didn't really seem to work out for them in this game.
What, do you think they could change the Tyrael to something else and it would have been more successful for the side of Diamond Hands?
Yeah, I think if they had pretty much any CC tank, Zergling has to play a completely different way. Zergling was so aggressive just in the front line, just chucking out Qs and auto attacks constantly. He never really felt like he was under any threat. And I think a lot of that is because of the Tyrael having no hard CC. I think having pretty much anything that can threaten him makes him play completely different. And with that 16 talent, if the Medivh's able to play that loose, then he's able to just get tons of ley lines out, which we saw. And Zergling is my MVP for that game for sure, just because of the ley lines that he kept putting out. But a lot of that is because there's no threat from Caesar Salad. There's no fear of that. There's not even the threat of there's no scare of the mind control or anything. There's no engage that he's afraid of really for Zergling. So I think Caesar Salad still probably could have done it with Holy Ground, but it felt like he was playing a little bit too safe, a little bit too scared that whole game.
So what really I'm hearing is, I mean, you said tank with CC. Tyrael just needed to go Judgment, right? Totally. It just you
That might have been better. I mean, they have Leyline to counter the Sanct anyways if they actually can force out Sanct. So it could have been better. It might have been able to make Zergling second guess his positioning a bit. Honestly, that might have helped. You could do that into Junkrat stuff.
Sanct did like almost nothing this game.
Yeah.
You really have games like that. It's really tough. He never got it in at the right time, and it's because he was often ley-lined as well, or it was from too far away. I didn't see one Sanct like a game-saving moment. So ironically, looking back, Judgment would have been better.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're all in agreement on this. Yes, we finally have, all three of us have agreed. Judgment is the better heroic out of all of that. Absolutely, right?
Always.
Yep. Definitely no one can disagree with that one. But we're getting ready for map number 4, and we can actually let you know where we're going to be heading to because we got that all queued up and ready to go for you at home. It is going to be the map choice of WildHeart Esports choosing to take us to Battlefield of Eternity. This means that Diamond Hands will be opting in for first pick priority. And for anyone who wants the stats at home, we got Battlefield of Eternity stats for Diamond Hands. They are 4-1, 4 wins, 1 loss. Side of WildHeart, are 2-0, 2 wins, 0 losses. So pretty good record for the side of Diamond Hands. But that record, Justin, also indicates that there's a lot more time played on the map. So WildHeart has a big kind of book to read as to say, like, ooh, what's the Diamond Hands potential play style for here?
Yeah, I'm sure they've done some research on what Diamond Hands likes to play on this map. It'll be kind of interesting to see with the patch coming out how these changes really affect that, because they don't know how much of that they can take at face value now that things have been kind of shaken up by the most recent patch. So some of that info they might be sort of second guessing, even if it is still good info going forward. It's weird still that they left the Johanna through. I think the Johanna was kind of part of what kept Diamond Hands in the game for so long, while they were sort of just losing that 4v4 bottom. Johanna was winning the double soak. This is not a map where you can double soak with your offlaner, but Johanna might honestly prefer that, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Diamond Hands just take it again if WildHeart doesn't ban it.
Lucio and Nubrak, I gotta get your thoughts, Grubby, as well. What are you thinking about the potential of Battlefield of Eternity for both of these teams?
I'm thinking definitely Johanna for Diamond Hands. I mean, she's also anti-wave clear because of the blinds.
Yep.
She clears her own wave real fast, then joins. And she's anti-race as well with the blind. Johanna, before she had the double blind talent, was already quite meta here. Usually Garrosh and Johanna and Murden were meta. Johanna to mitigate enemy race. Depending on their draft, that can be super useful. You may not necessarily want to take her first, as much as I love to see her, just because your opponent could go Hanzo Li Ming, and then you're like, does Johanna really do a lot into Hanzo Li Ming? And it's going to be Rhaegar. I like that, not opening up with the Joe.
They feel very comfortable with this Rhaegar. And Valimar actually had some pretty good play, regardless of the loss they just had. The first map of the day on Tomb of the Spider Queen was extremely well played from Diamond Hands with their execution and Valimar's overall healing. And we even saw some really good Farseer's Blessings yesterday, Justin. What do you think about this, Urel Stukov?
I like what WildHeart has here quite a bit better. I don't think that it's worth it to first pick the Rhaegar for Diamond Hands, even though Rhaegar is strong. And we don't know quite how strong he is. I can't imagine that he's so much stronger than Stukov that it's worth it. If nothing, it allows them to kind of save their pick, but I almost question whether they would have been better off just picking their offlaner, whether it be the Joe or whether it be the Urel, or pretty much anything. Just getting Stukov on second pick just feels like a grave sin in the draft. It feels like it just shouldn't happen. And they do take Li Ming Hanzo, so they've got Diamond Hands has a bit of a monopoly on the ranged poke right now. Lunara's been banned out, and that's kind of the third main option lately. So
Who's
there's
number 4? Who's number 4?
I don't know if there is a number 4.
Yeah.
Did I say there's 4 options?
No,
Oh,
Grubby's just
I don't think
asking.
there is
You talked about 3. I was just wondering if there's a 4th one.
Oh, I mean Provius, obviously. There's 3 main ones. It's leaving Hanzo and now Lunara since the Q changes recently, but There's
You
not
don't
really
consider Vala to be fourth, right? She's too short range for that.
Yeah, Vala, you typically need to play more of a like run past the Immortal to sort of push them off of it style.
Well, either way, we finally have that Joanna ban, but Diamond Hands, they're not going Joanna. They're going to go Cho'Gall. It's easy. They're just going to ignore the solo lane and just hard push through bottom and win. But Grubby, what do you think of the draft so far for Battlefield as well?
Yeah, I was still thinking of the Stukov Rhaegar. Stukov's effect is so obvious, that big puddle. But Rhaegar's win rate is much higher on ladder, at least. Ladder being, of course, a completely different beast than CCL, which is why I agree with you guys that we're still not 100% with the jury out on what Rhaegar can do. But a lot of what Rhaegar does is a bit more invisible. It's a bit harder to see, like his healing numbers, the slow from the totem, which is why he's so hard to quantify. We're going to get one of those top tanks in Murden. Junkrat coming out in the second half of the draft. Is this 2021 or what? That's weird. And then the final two picks. Malthael. Kind of to play into that Yrel, into that Murden, trying to get a bit of extra percentage damage there, as Li Ming and Hanzo don't super have it. You can go Giant Slayer, but it's pretty much a toss-up between it and piercing arrows anyway. So Malthael is to help kill out the front line. And ETC coming out, definitely interesting. He can interrupt Dwarf Toss, which can help. He can interrupt Yrel's jump. But he is a tough one to play, a bit squishy.
Good race potential from the side of WildHeart, but got to get your thoughts, Justin, on what we've seen and maybe an expectation for how Battlefield would go for one of these teams.
So it's hard to call the draft either way completely. I think both comps are doing sort of different things. The Murden versus ETC matchup is typically decided a lot by just what your range DPS are and kind of how much kill threat you have on each other. I think that with them having Junkrat Greymane versus Li Ming Hanzo, ideally ETC can slide Murden and get just one shot. So that kind of changes the matchup quite a bit. That makes the matchup for Murden very scary because he can also boop your jump away, or your jump if you're Murden against the ETC. And if ETC has slide kill pressure, it's very, very scary to be the Murden in that situation. And they should have kill pressure, assuming that Malthael's close. They also just have the better range damage, just overall, having Li Ming Hanzo. That just does more damage over time. So ETC, if he's played well this game, I think should be able to win it just by going the W build at or having the 13 CDR and just booping permanently. So I think Diamond Hands comp looks quite a bit better if they play it well.
Yeah, I would agree with you as well, Justin, and we'll see you after map number 4, Battlefield of Eternity, because we're loaded on in and we're ready to go. We got Diamond Hands in the blue, Notori on the Malthael, Caesar Salad on the ETC, Valimar will be on the Rhaegar, Kelsier on the Hanzo, and Got Filth on the Li Ming. Over in the red, on the right, we got Diamond Hands trying to reverse sweep the reverse sweepers. WildHeart is going to be having Slug Hunter on the Yrel, Zergling on the Junkrat, Mason Blaze on the Greymane, Lupus on the Murden, and Weary Day to play the Stukov. I definitely like the drafts from both sides. I think there's a lot of really good viability when it comes to who can win, who can race on Immortals. And I'm going to call for a Diamond Hands win, but Grubby, we haven't heard from you in a little bit, so I got to ask, what are your thoughts on the matchup right here for Battlefield?
Yeah, I think WildHeart's comp looks a little bit better. I'm not 100% convinced Caesar Salad's going to be able to make use of ETC in this draft. It looks hella scary. He looks squishy. Getting a bit of a taste of that as well. He just walked forward, nearly got killed, had to power slide away, and he managed to be able to do so this time. But next time, if there's a puddle under him, he won't be able to do that. I was also thinking about reverse sweeping. It's actually really sensible, because if you sweep in front of you, you're standing on dirty ground, you clean it in front of you, and then you walk in front because you're doing forward sweeping, and then you dirty the clean ground again with your dirty shoes. But if you do reverse sweeping, then you're cleaning everything up in front of you and walking backwards. So long as you don't walk like into anything, reverse sweep does make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, it's I'm always confused when I sweep my garage why I constantly have just big pieces of dirt left behind, and it's because I wear muddy shoes when I do it. Yeah, maybe I should start. I should start at the inside of the garage and work my way out. Grubby, you've solved all of my issues. I clean the garage every day. It just keeps getting so muddy.
Yeah, except you'll be walking straight into the loving embrace of bear in your bear country because you're not looking behind you. Meanwhile, first blood, second blood coming in, and Mason Blaze gets away. Dead. He did get away though. Like he was really, really far away. What was that took him down? Maybe the final auto attack of Hanzo.
Yeah, I think it was the missile trajectory from his arrow kind of just chased after it. It's like that movie Wanted where they bend the bullets. It's like that with Hanzo.
I thought that was the Matrix.
No, not in Matrix. They don't bend bullets. In Matrix, they have the really cool. They lean back and they dodge the bullets.
Oh yeah, they bend themselves.
Yes. That's that one right there. Man, I'm excited for the new one. That comes out pretty soon. But either way, this map. Things are unfolding. Things are looking good for WildHeart. They find 2 initial early kills. They do lose their Grey Mane in that trade, but here is our first Immortal phase of the game. It's always standard to be in the north and south positioning, but actually, Grubby, we can take a look back at that replay and find out what exactly killed that Grey Mane.
Here's the double kill. We have the fight beginning as Mason Blaze comes in, and that was just a great concussive mine there by Zerkling. He played great Junkrat last weekend as well, if I'm not mistaken. They gratefully jump on the target, served up the next Stormbolt. It was an easy one. ETC not able to juke. He was being slowed and attacked. He just tried to get home and he couldn't. That was a great double kill. But Hanzo with the revenge. Now back to the present. We've got the Immortal race kind of breaking out. And God Filth on Li Ming. He did a lot of damage to that top tower, taking it down. Now a bit of a revenge from WildHeart, taking down half a tower. And now jumping on Valimar. Again, the target is Rhaegar. Ooh.
Ouch. Really good dive. Counter, actually, just in general, counterplay from the side of WildHeart. There was the slide onto Weary Day to look for the damage. I think there was a scatter arrow that was just eaten by the body. It didn't actually get the wall bounce. That's a fun fact. If you scatter into a hero, they eat the actual scatter and nothing happens. So they tried to scatter off that side wall into Stukov, but he ate the entire scatter, and that really kind of stopped some of the big burst potential because Got Filth was being body blocked by so many WildHeart members, couldn't get that big Arcane Orb Magic Missile single target blow up. So really good overall collapse from WildHeart. I guess you could say counter collapse per se.
Yeah, and it's been good by WildHeart, honestly. They've been getting the kills in, basically focusing Rhaegar, and I wonder to what degree, Bahamut, Valimar's level 1 is at fault here. And I say fault very subjectively.
Exactly.
Because in many games in this series, Rhaegar was picked and Valimar played it, but this time, for the first time as a solo support, he's gone for the grounded totem. But that does mean he doesn't enjoy that 40 to 30% mobility, and now only he's got the 20%. And is his getting caught and is it influenced at all by him having less mobility than he anticipated? Interesting.
Yeah, the shielding was something I was considering, but ETC went block party, so that's more shielding available just through the ETC to friendly members around, with that block party giving 75 armor. But I agree, there is that speed. You have 140% movement speed for 1 second, and then you decay down to 130%, which is just standard mount speed. Right now, for anyone that doesn't know, Rhaegar's movement speed is 120% when in Ghost Wolf form, so he moves 10% slower than everyone mounted. So it definitely is a possibility in him getting caught out from time to time. We'll have to see if that actually is the case as the map progresses, but it is going to be a couple kills over to WildHeart. 1 kill in favor for Diamond Hands, and the Immortal phase has ended. Looking like a fort front gate to go down, some camps to be grabbed. We just kind of reset the map, waiting for our next Immortal phase and 10 talent tiers.
Murden comes in from the flank, face melt by ETC, pushes Murden back once, as the Junkrat Stuk of Murden defense here is standing in the 4v3. 4v4 now.
I'm also looking at Hanzo Scatter at level 1. Simple Geometry is at 9 out of the 20 stacks. When you finish that, you get some extra arrows to bounce around as well. So finishing that as quickly as possible is going to be better for the Immortal race and burst ability onto the WildHeart side. But WildHeart positioning and spreading out pretty good, playing away from the walls. It's either this is a conscious or maybe a subconscious tactic. I'm actually curious. I'd have to ask Justin about this as well. Is this something that you're actually considering when you go up against a Hanzo? Are you making a conscious effort to avoid standing next to walls, to avoid giving stacks? Because it's not something I consciously do when I play against Hanzo players. And maybe it's something I need to start learning, honestly. There's a lot of nuance in Heroes to practice.
Yeah, I can say they definitely think of where they stand, and I think of it sometimes, and as you keep going up, you think of that more and more.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Diablo, basically. Don't put your backs against the wall.
Oh god, I'm so
here
bad
you
at that.
either here's like, it's kind of like a football or let's say soccer goalkeeper. You walk towards Hanzo to stop the scatters, to kind of give him less space to aim into the wall, so you catch that first scatter so that it doesn't split, or you just go away entirely from the wall if possible. So far, Caesar Salad's been getting bullied real bad.
Oh yeah,
real bad. Kind of what I was afraid of. But just because I thought of it doesn't mean I own it. It's WildHeart that is able to constantly punish the ETC and the Rhaegar. They've got the good synergy, they've got the CC, and they're leading by quite a bit. And this time their kills are not being mitigated by that Johanna offlane pressure and then joining the fight. So it's sticking. They've got the level lead.
Level lead slowly coming through. We got Trap Build Junkrat, 4 and 7 so far. Sticky Wicket will be the choice. Stage Dive ETC coming on through. Gonna be trying to set up onto Lupus, who pops the Avatar form. Nintori coming in as well. Does have the last rice, but not enough damage into the ETC to find that kill. Kelsier gets the Ancestor healing just in time as he gets the agility over the wall. Rips an arrow right past Lupus. Unfortunately, ETC comes in with the power side last rights applied to Lupus. Damage over time. Will find the kill. That is horrific for the side of WildHeart as they have to back away.
That was really funny because he even received the healing pustule
that.
and its initial healing, which means he actually stole and ate it like a black hole to the light. That healing pustule then couldn't spread to the other members of WildHeart, solidifying the victory for Diamond Hands. A really clean kill there from Nintori on Malthael, who's been playing Johanna for the entire series. Now for the first time on Malthael, let's talk about his build, Bahamut. He's gone for the Wraith Strike build.
It's not a very common build. I mean, it gets you more reach with your Wraith Strike at level 1, and then Massacre at level 7. It applies more marks, I believe it is, around the target. So you actually get splash marking with your Shade?
With your W, your Wraith Strike. And it really comes together at level 16, where that W starts doing 8% max health damage.
Youch.
Now you've got good damage into the clump of a Yrel, of a Muradin. Even Stukov Greyman are among the tankier of their role. So that's where it really comes together. He's going to probably get the cleanse at 13. This is a great build to use with Tormented Souls because you get double reset for your W. But even here, it's still the highest amount of burst that you can deliver, unless you consider the level 7 healing debuff that Malthael can offer as part of the burst. Healing not received is also bonus damage for the burst, essentially. Oh no, ETC, no cleanse, Ancestral? They pop him before. Oh, he just walks into a trap on enemy side. You think you're safe, right? You're 5v4? But he just gets blown up. Great coordination by WildHeart.
Without looking, Grubby, what's the wind-up time for Ancestral?
2 seconds.
It's 1. Can you believe that?
Oh my god.
Because I literally, because I saw that kill and I was just like, how long is Ancestral wind-up? 1 second. 1 second. It's like really that was less than a second. It was just really crazy. Like played from WildHeart to get that burst on the ETC, but he comes back with a vengeance. That's a huge stage dive. That is one of the best stage dives I've ever seen. That sets up a singular kill, but might be another as there's a bite on the butt to Junkrat. He will fall. Got Filth, has some wave of force value, knocking Lupus around. He doubles back. He does get his trait to kick in. Dwarf tosses away. Valimar comes in with another bite. Some healing will be there, and it's a triple kill to the side of Diamond Hands with the objective phase spawning in 15 seconds.
Wow, now look at the structures. Now look at the levels. Now look at the kills. In all that together, Diamond Hands is suddenly ahead.
I would say, I don't know if I'd say massively, but it is big gains
suddenly,
to the
not
side.
massively.
Yeah, suddenly, quite suddenly. It's just the shift in this experience was quite quick with that triple kill. Malthael will clear out the camp in top, and consolation prize to WildHeart. They will get the camp for the top lane. That's going to provide maybe enough experience to push into 14.
Yep, there we go. Level 14 and then some been reached. Now defensive positions for the Immortals. Great time to maybe jump into some comms. Want to hear from the ETC team again?
Let's go into Diamond Hands.
Yeah, I can stage dive in even.
Just look over there.
Force it.
Yeah, just slide them around.
I'm waiting for my scrolls. No, don't have it. 2 seconds. I had to slide out.
Okay, I think I took top then and we're just poking.
Just poke.
I can get them up.
I'm gonna eat the trap.
Watching you.
Careful.
The Immortal eats it, right? Okay, cool.
Coming. We're gonna walk up like that again.
What's your angle, Kels? What's your angle you need?
I'm bottom side.
Okay.
Still 4v5. Still 4v5.
Yeah.
Joe.
You're all stop.
I got some poke here.
Cleanse is down.
I'm gonna bring it to the Immortal. I'm gonna bring it to the Immortal.
Yeah, we step in and poke now. You're all quick low, and bot's pushing.
He missed on.
Yeah, boss pushing.
I'm gonna eat the traps.
Bring it to the Immortal. Bring it. No.
Careful, I don't have cleanse.
Wait, I'm looking for an arrow here. Hold.
Yeah.
The Immortal eats the trap.
Arrow.
Maybe it's circling.
Go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm stage diving.
You might die?
Dead.
Dead.
I think he's dead.
Yep.
Oh, I'm fine actually.
Flash out.
Mur.
Yeah, I'm slow in a sec. I have a slow.
This guy has no ult, I
I
think.
guess drop maybe? Okay, no.
Nice burn.
Killed Marlon.
Nice job.
Diamond Hands kills here.
We're OP now, we got 16.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We have so much more damage now, actually.
Yeah.
I can also firmly grasp it.
A little rejoicing towards the end of that, as they were pretty happy with the results from that fight, and really, that was quite well executed by the side of Diamond Hands, and the communication on what they wanted to do. Really, really cool. I knew exactly the game plan as we were listening into those comms, Grubby.
Yeah, and if we see the... Oh!
Bye-bye!
Well, awkward. No. If we understand the game plan that clearly with all the angles, then you know that they did a great job Eli 5ing that fight, and we can watch it once again. It was actually super clean this time with our commentary. So you had Nintori eating the trap, and we've got Kelsier looking for the arrow. He hits Junkrat. Look at the stage dive interrupting Stukov, or at least he would interrupt it, the silence. Great ancestral healing coming in there. Valimar being exactly where he needs to be. Love the accuracy of Godfilled to spells. Look, even this one into Urel hits him. Too graphic to show that one, but we're back to the present. Really good shots from Godfilled. ETC really working out here. We see that combo now with the Hanzo arrow, but it comes down a lot to Hanzo arrow because ETC stage dive, or for that fact mosh pit, is not actually a great hero for initiation. ETC can pretty much punish one overstepping enemy hero, but the reason we don't see him is because he doesn't wade into a swamp and then like can kind of get himself out and can kind of set up enemies, like multiple enemies. He's not like a Garros who can come in from the flank and just like destroy. So it's lovely to have that Hanzo serve up that fight. A lot of pressure on Kelsier, which is why they were imagining the crowd. Diamond on Kelsier.
I like that. That was kind of cute to listen in on. Really quick note on some talents. We don't see it very often, so I just want to talk about the level 16 from ETC. The Imposing Presence. Activate to reduce the attack speed by 50% and movement speed by 20% of nearby heroes and summons for 2.5 seconds. But you also have a passive in this as well. A non-activatable. By the way, that activatable is a 20-second cooldown. The passive is heroes and summons that attack your hero, ETC, have their attack speed slowed by 20% for 2.5 seconds. So that is going to be really strong into slowing down the Greymane aggression, because I think that is a lot of what they want to do with that is just neuter Greymane in his damage.
Exactly, and then he has to wear the Cone of Shame as Diamond Hands is just looking at level 20 already. Interesting position. I think that's favorable to WildHeart to kind of get the ball rolling because they don't want to play a stalling game. So for the Immortals to spawn in an aggressive position should be good for them. They're actually going to go make a big play for... No way, the Ancestral hit! Okay, that was clearly 1 second, Bahamut, you're right. But the race was won by Diamond Hands in the meantime.
It is going to be Diamond Hands who are going to be shredding through this Immortal that does move into defensive positioning on either side, and the fight will be on to Caesar Salad. Dwarf launch forward, double Stormbolt. There's a cleanse as well. ETC power sliding around as Lupus does pop the avatar on the bottom of our screen. On the top of our screen, Greymane is diving on to Nintori. Nintori trying to back away, trying to steal some HP onto anyone as Urel keeps diving on top of Nintori. No last rights utilized. The Junkrat, he's looking to find someone with this Riptire, but can't do so, and that Riptire does have a duration on that purple bar at the bottom will expire, but Kelsier or Valimar do take the brunt force of that damage. Now, we have a bit of a reset on this fight as there was a well-tapped. Malthael will go into top lane to clear out that camp. That should be the availability for WildHeart to go in, but oh my god, goodbye, Slug Hunter. A great scatter arrow from Hanzo, and then Li Ming burst.
Goodbye, Rel, as he stood into the Immortal. Yikes. He stood into the Immortal. Okay, thanks. He stood into the Immortal stun. I don't know if he got served up there or just blundered into it, but the judgment was merciless and swift, with Kelsier hitting a fat scatter and Godfield hitting all of his abilities as well. Yrel absolutely blown up there. And now we are in a situation where we've got 80% shield on the Immortal. We can actually see the stats it's going to be getting. 25,000 HP. And a shield should be of about 20,000 as well, for a grand total of 44,000 health. That's going to be tough to chew through, because there isn't that much single target poke. It's all down to Greymane. I think this could be core.
The Immortal also will slap into structures for 1,788 damage. That is also the double damage, so it's not, you don't have to double it again, but either way, Yrel flanking on the left-hand side, looking for something. Lacerites applied to Lupus. He takes a ton of damage, does go down, and Sister Healing will be used. Farseer's Blessing should trigger twice, and it will. Slug Hunter gets the wraparound dive around this wall. Good kind of alley-oop for himself to be able to back away, and this is Li Ming just throwing in combos as Nantori steps forward. Massive ETC stage dive with the level 20 crowd pleaser for the increased area, but increased slow as well. Stukov will fall. Greymane does shred through this Li Ming HP, and the core shielding has fallen. Alarian moves in with melee attacks, dealing quite a bit of damage, anywhere from 6 to 8% per auto attack. Slug Hunter split, no Ardent Defender available. He shall fall, and this is looking like the members of Diamond Hands will not be reverse swept. No, no, no. It's going to be Diamond Hands closing out our series, our first best of 5 series of the day, 3-1 against WildHeart Esports. Extremely well played from Diamond Hands in map number 4. And it did seem like WildHeart did have the momentum at the start of this map, but it seemingly was around that 13 to 16 area where we just see explosive value from Diamond Hands, turning every single team fight in their favor. But I got to get Justin back in here because I'm sure you have a few notes and some breakdowns for us after Battlefield of Eternity.
Yeah, really well played by Diamond Hands. I think a big part of that game was that sort of dynamic between the ETC and the Muradin. You could tell that Lupus felt like there wasn't a whole lot for him to do in the matchup, and it's not because of the ETC Muradin matchup in isolation, it's because of what is surrounding them. The Li Ming Hanzo Malthael has easy 100 to 0 kill pressure on Muradin, so Lupus can never really step up in those 5v5 situations, whereas Caesar Salad can still get value just by giving the block party, just by pressing W. He gets values in different ways, so he doesn't actually need to slide in. Because sliding in is scary into Stukov and Junkrat, but if you don't slide in, you're still doing more than the Muradin is, because the Muradin really can never step up into you. And it did feel like Caesar Salad at the start was a little bit uncomfortable on ETC. You could tell he was getting bullied a little bit in the early game, and he didn't maybe recognize, like, I'm not allowed to slide in at all. My job is to boop. But even when Caesar Salad was like making what seemed to be mistakes early game, his team was actually getting rewarded for it. With the exception of this one, when on the first Immortal, ETC gets chased down. They chased ETC all the way to the top, of the map on the first Immortal phase, but WildHeart had a 10 to 9 level advantage. But while they were chasing him, they ended up actually trading 50-50 on the Immortal. So even though they lost ETC, getting a 50-50 trade down 9 to 10 on the Immortal is huge for you if you're the team that's down 9 to 10. Like, you love that. You'll easily trade your ETC's life for 50-50 on the Immortal when you're down heroics talent tier. So, and then here, when Caesar Salad got picked, that was what actually also made WildHeart get a little bit too aggressive pushing in bottom, which set up this play as well. He stage dives in and it's a 5v5 suddenly, and now that was the main turning point of the game where they got that 3-for-0 bottom. That was kind of when Diamond Hands started taking the initiative here, and this was a really, really cool combo by Kelsier. I would say Kelsier is my MVP for this game in particular. His arrows were really on point. Right as I decided to write that down, he immediately got booped over the top keep, which was kind of a shame they didn't get to push with this Immortal that they got, because Kelsier giveth and Kelsier taketh away, because he does get knocked over the keep when they try to siege with that Immortal that he did earn for his team. But just overall, really well played by all the members of Diamond Hands. They understood how to play their team comp in team fights, and they just executed it really well. It felt very difficult for the other side of WildHeart. So well played by Diamond Hands.
It was extremely well played by Diamond Hands, and as you were actually mentioning Kelsier on that last map, we have him on the line to talk about that series up against WildHeart. Kelsier, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. You got me loud and clear?
Yeah. Congratulations on your victory versus WildHeart. How you feeling?
Dude, like, maybe it's different for the team, but for every single one of these when we win, and just Like, I'm so hyped, dude. I'm so happy that we won, dude.
I can definitely hear it in your voice, and I want to give a opportunity for Grubby and Justin to ask some questions. So, Justin, any questions for Kelsier?
Yeah, so after game 2, you guys are up in the series 2-0. You are Diamond Hands, so you guys have been in that situation before. How does it feel, or like what does the team do to recoup after that game 3 when you do lose on Towers of Doom? And you're in that situation where you might be getting a little bit of remembering previous weeks where you guys were reverse swept. What is the comms like in that moment, and how do you kind of regroup for this last game on BOE?
Yeah, for sure. It's we definitely gone game 3 2-0 many times this season. And mainly it's kind of just like, I don't know, we're kind of just like experienced there. Like, I personally was nervous kind of this entire time because like this is an important match, and I think the WildHeart guys are really good. But my team has a very cool head and they keep it under control. They identify why we lose certain games and then we just try to move past that and win the next ones.
Thanks.
That's always a strong mental to have. Out of curiosity, we actually jumped into the comms during that Battlefield map. Is there any reason why you're all cheering your name?
It's a stupid, it's a stupid team thing. It's I don't know, man. They like to hype me up, I guess, which, gotta love them for it.
Hey, I have to say, you had some great Hanzo play. So if I was allowed to talk in your comms, I'd be going Kelsier. It was very good. Grubby, any questions for Kelsier?
Yo, you guys look so well prepared in the drafts. They actually felt so intelligent. We see a lot of drafts where people take heroes that are generally just good, take the flavor of the month. But the way you guys crafted game 1 and 2 draft in particular felt very prepared. Were they?
They were actually, yeah. We played very similar comps and scrims before, and I guess our drafting philosophy is like, if we don't necessarily have to go like the hyper most meta picks if it makes it so the comp makes sense and we can play comfort heroes, and that's like our strong suit. I think for the season is like we do draft prep, we do a lot of draft prep, and we're a little flexible, so it's kind of unpredictable, I would say, to draft into us.
And then in game 3, it looks like you guys were headed for a similar draft as game number 1. Would it be fair to say that WildHeart read into that and took the very 2 picks away from you that you had been hoping to pick in the final 2 slots?
I actually don't think we were looking for the Diablo Medivh. I think the Diablo Medivh was super smart by them because we kind of picked Sylvanas early, and Diablo Medivh, as like was highlighted by game 1, Diablo Medivh is pretty strong against Sylvanas. She can't really break through Diablo health plus a protect plus portal. Like, she doesn't really do that much effective damage. So I think we weren't really prepared for that. Like, we didn't expect that. And that was just very well played by them to pick it there.
And then you guys recovered with the ETC frontline pick. We don't see that hero a lot. You guys made it work really nicely. Felt like a lot came down to your arrows, though, as ETC has trouble engaging by himself. So it was all on your shoulders. So I would say the cheers of your name in the game deserved. Congrats.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your victory versus WildHeart Esports in this important matchup, because we were all talking about how important this is for the standings. So congratulations on that. Before I let you run out of here, are there any shout-outs that you'd like to give? The floor is all yours.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to my team. This is my first season in CCL, and I'm really happy that they're my teammates for this season. I couldn't have asked for a better team. Shout out to you guys, the casters, for making every cast entertaining. Twitch chat for chatting away. Shout out to my manager, Key, God tier scheduler. And, Cecil Dumper. That's all I have to say, brother.
Well, thank you so much for the interview. Congratulations on your victory. We'll see you next Sunday, December 19th, up against Chile Mountain. Good luck in your scrims, your practice, and your play during the week.
Yeah, see you later, guys.
See you. Thank you for joining us, man. I have to say, really wholesome to hear that he's just like, man, my teammates. I'm so happy to be able to play with these teammates, and I think that is a really big factor within CCL is having teammates that you can jive with. I'm sure, Justin, when you were on WildHeart, there was a lot of just that kind of like that camaraderie, that friendship, and I think that really bolsters a team because you're kind of a unit. You can trust each other and you really understand the playstyle of each other, right?
Yeah, it definitely makes a huge difference if your team can get along or not. The teams that have fun together win together, as the saying goes. So that's it really does. Team mentality is extremely important. So even if you have a team of superstars that all hate each other, they'll probably perform a lot worse than a team that's maybe less individually strong but has a good time together. So yeah, it's definitely important. Good to see.
That's why my team that I play with on Tuesdays, we're going to be in season 4 of CCL totally, because we're not the best players, but we jive so very well. I wish. Anyways, we are getting ready for another best of 5 series. We are going to be seeing Granite Gaming going up against Oxygen Esports. This will be our final best of 5 of the weekend, but we do need to take a little bit of time to get ready for that series. Got to get some map bans, picks, and etc. out of the way. So in that time, we've once again invited our wonderful friend Kyle Ferguson to sit down with my pal Vince to discuss the upcoming matchup. In this little break, I'd like you to do 2 things, chat. I want you to hit ! Prize pool so you can get yourself over to the match arena, and if you'd like to donate towards that prize pool, it's always very much appreciated. We're at $9,069 nice dollars and 42 cents because of your support. If you want to push for that 10K, we'll always really appreciate it and encourage it. The last thing I want you to do as well in this break is hit ! Merch. We've got Season 3 merch for HeroesCCL. We got a lot of really cool stuff. It is the winter season for a lot of us, so if you want to get some nice joggers, maybe some sweaters, that is the great place to check out all of your HeroesCCL merch. But as I said, we got that interview with Kyle Ferguson and my pal Vince coming at you in just a little bit. This is HeroesCCL presented by Wisdom.